as if it were on purpose.
I wake up in the morning, I piss excellent.
R&R in the morning on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning. Hey, good morning to you.
Good morning, good morning.
This is R&R, a big Friday edition. Yeah, we made it. That's Rudy J. I'm Rob Thompson. Easy E on the other side of the double pane, and we got 4 hours of football coming your direction.
Edwin, you didn't get the memo? Did you see what color that we're donning today? It is Aggie kickoff weekend.
That's right.
I'm not an Aggie fan.
Well, neither is Rudy, but at least he put on some colors in support of his co-host.
You don't even have on burnt orange.
You don't even have the orange and blue that your Mavericks would be wearing.
Well, they don't have a football team.
That's why we ask you to adopt the maroon.
Yeah, man. This is Maroon Friday.
Come on. Although I would like to thank Rudy J. Although he didn't realize it. You know what? It's the aura that I put
energy.
Just that positive Aggie energy, which that's a sentence that's never been said before.
Which, what, you taking off tomorrow, aren't you? Look
like I'm going to the game, baby. Look like I'm going to go sit in the sun.
So, translation, your wife said y'all are going.
Kind of. See, we have finally, after now 8 years of paying tuition to send kids.
Right.
We finally managed to get a child in a place where I can go stay at his place.
And what you say, you can walk.
And he's staying in a rough neighborhood, but he's living.
Are you about to put your son on the couch in his own apartment?
No, I'm going to send him over to his girlfriend. So we're going to stay at his place.
Yo, by the way, son, since I pay for that,
since I'm paying,
you got to get out. So you pretty his apartment, you're going to kick him out.
I'm going to throw him out. If he's a little short, I'm going to put you up on Airbnb this weekend, son.
You don't maintain a 3-5.
You better hope. We don't have a renter that weekend. Yeah, we'll build you a tent. You can go sleep at your fraternity house.
Now that I actually think about it, consider you can walk to the stadium, y'all could probably make a little bit of change. Y'all could probably make a little bit of money off of your investment.
So many of my not so many, but those that had the ability, the means,
right? That
when their kid went off and they had several, and the expectation was they were all going to follow, that went up and bought a house.
Oh, right.
With the intent of, like
it was going to be 3 kids that come through there, right?
And then now that I have a friend that they've all come and gone, now he's got a house that he Airbnbs.
Wow.
So I wish I was smart like those people. I wish I was smart like Gil Brandt.
Like our early birders on YouTube. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning to people, with all of our people with a purpose. Like get up early and get things done and sound off like you got a pair. We're going to look back today on Gil Brandt's long and illustrious Dallas Cowboy career. Drew Pearson joined the Blitz yesterday, and there was no better spokesperson for the likes of a Gil Brandt than Drew. I was watching a highlight earlier. For those of you who lost ESPN yesterday afternoon and are sitting on the NFL Network.
Did you lose yesterday?
No, I have Uverse. I'm good.
Man, oh man, I bet there are some angry folks. If you're watching the NFL Network, they were showing a package about Gil Brandt, and they brought up an old NFL Films story of Gil Brandt, the scout. And truly was.
That happened right. It was about 9:50,
literally
9:50, because we went off at 9:51 yesterday. So about 9:50, I was like, Rob, I think Gil Brandt just passed away.
When you reach an age where I've been around, I've been in Gil Brandt's orbit for 20 years. And the way you saw him talk with anybody is the way he talked with me. Just a wonderful man. Just a wonderful man in general, but a football mind the likes of which that changed the league. We'll get into who and how and all of that in a bit. But, man, what a great loss to Cowboy Nation as a true architect, the founder, the beginner of America's team.
It stinks that, I don't know, I guess their first home game isn't until a couple of weeks, because their first game, speaking of the Cowboys, is in New York. But I would guess week 2, when they come back home versus the Jets, will be a big Gil Brandt blowout. I would think. I would think. I mean, he is in the Ring of Honor.
At least Jerry had the good sense.
Right. Before he passed.
Right. Hopefully
maybe it's a wake-up call.
I hope. We really hope. Because he had the pleasure. We had the pleasure of watching Gil Brandt not only go into the Ring of Honor, but into the Hall of Fame.
Now, didn't you say he wasn't somewhere we just were, and which kind of shocked you?
He's always at Cowboy training camp.
Okay.
And I had the good fortune of meeting him for the first time at a Cowboys training camp, but it was here in San Antonio the first time I interviewed him here. But he was a fixture at camp, and he was always available, and he was just a football mind, the likes of which he knew everybody. He knew everybody and everything about everything in the league. He knew every player. He knew where they went to school. He knew their 40s. He knew it didn't matter the player you brought up, and this was up until last year.
Yeah, we definitely got to talk Gilbrand.
Wonderful
Drew,
man.
Crazy. Jason hey, I'm gonna call up Drew Pearson real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like think about that. Like, keep in mind, the reason Drew is near and dear to my heart is my mama.
Oh yeah,
loved Drew. Like, I'm talking about a different type of love for her, Drew. If the Cowboys and Drew ain't playing, I ain't watching. Like, literally. So, so for me to have, be sitting next to you and, no Minix, and the fact that, he could just call up Drew Pearson is crazy to me.
About 6:30, we'll get into what we saw last night. College football began.
Well, did everybody see it?
But yeah, I was going to say, oh my gosh, if you did get cut off right at kickoff, which I understand is what ESPN or what Spectrum did, and then throw up that we gave best offers to Disney and blah, 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 but they took football from you. If that happened, you all want to hear. Just let us know.
It's crazy.
This is the first time in my memory that this didn't affect me. Normally it
affects you all the time.
I was on Dish. Dish don't pay nobody nothing. If you want one dime more as a network, nope, not going to pay you. I've watched them lose. HBO, they lost a couple of other networks that just never came back. Like, no, we're just not going to carry it. So then that was always me, and I was bound under a contract. This time I sit back and laugh at you.
Yeah, so when I sent it to, and Minix was like, well, they've been talking about this since last Friday, that this may happen. And then, and then Spectrum tries to make it seem like Spectrum throws Walt Disney all the way under the bus. Like, we're working hard to make sure we're not overpaying and blah, blah, blah. This isn't on us. Pretty much saying, I ain't going to read the stupid tweet. They blamed Walt Disney for this, not themselves.
I used to think that, and Dish was always proud of themselves. Like, you know what? We held the line. I'm like, dude, I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it. I want this back.
You got to have it's football season, no Sports Center.
And to do it at kickoff,
no Sports Center during football season is like no phone when you're dropping a deuce.
Let me tell you.
It's just weird.
It's just, I don't know what to do with myself.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what am I supposed to do in here? This is the 90s.
We don't have magazines in here anymore. I'm stuck.
Yeah, what am I supposed to do without
the back of shampoo bottles?
One Bro Gamer 123 won Nickelback tickets on the Blitz yesterday,
but was denied them.
Wow.
I don't know, man.
Bro
Gamer, we'll check. I don't know.
You got to take that up.
You might have made Edwin mad, and if you made Edwin mad, I
well, that's Pledge. Oh, that's Pledge. That happened during the Blitz.
Well, hey, man.
Pledge gets kind of, toward the end of the week when he's at hour number 88. Mm-hmm. Pledge could get a little cranky.
So he might. Yeah, I don't know, Bro Gamer. We'll check on it, but I make no promises on that.
Speaking of 40 times, you brought this up, and I ran across this on social media, and I thought it was a great idea. Dude, fantasy has gotten so creative. So these dudes, 12 dudes out of shape, huge, bigger than me at my biggest, they ran 40s to determine their draft order. I've never seen so many 6.5s. I saw one guy run to like a 5.1.
Wow.
Yeah, 5.
Wow.
Yeah, 5.1. That's
legit.
If I could get under 7, I'd be happy.
When was the last time you ran full speed?
Oh, gosh.
Like you went at it, not just a couple of steps to save the baby from whatever. I'm talking about a 30-yard speed burst.
Gosh, you got to be back in my 20s when I was still hooping. And
regular. Even then, when you're hooping, you're not running full.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the last time I really was trying to get somewhere,
I can't remember.
In my 20s.
I do remember.
My trainer tries to get me to run full speed sometimes. Like, he'll we're gonna go outside. There's 500 feet. Go ahead and you're gonna drop off the sled. Then you're gonna take off. I want you to at least 85%. And I'm like, all right. But I think my 85% is probably a good 55. But it looks like I'm trying.
See.
So I cannot think of the last time I really said a dog behind you sprint. Never. It's been a long time.
I've had occasion to kind of speed. I've noticed that as the years have gone, I've gotten top heavy.
So you don't want that. See, that's what happened to those guys running the 40. One dude toppled over at the line.
You get top heavy. I don't know how it happened. But I'm starting. I
Our
carry all
legs
my
get-
weight
our
above
legs-
my
yeah,
waist.
well, what it is our legs get weaker.
Whatever it is. So if my body up, it's like a tree. If it starts leaning that direction, I can't stop it. I'm turning into the curb. You know what?
Now, the reason why there's something to that, Rob, keep in mind, Pledger stays in shape. Remember him and Jimenez ran the 40 last year, and Pledge bid it.
Yes, he
He
did.
bid it,
Well,
and he's felt. So imagine me
Oh,
at 46 trying to run a 40.
now
See,
I can't even. I'm to the point where when my shoes untied, I'm like, well,
it's just gonna stay untied.
that's a long way down there.
I cannot do that.
I'm gonna have to wait because I can't get all the way down and all the way back up. Tie my shoe.
YouTuber Brian Thorne says, I don't run for free anymore.
Exactly right.
And Eric Fentz said he did, and he pulled a hammy. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no Kevin Hart, really great shape. Last week, races his friend, people talking crap. Oh, you can't beat me. Pulls an abdominal, like tore his abdominal muscle. Like, your body isn't used to those fast twitch muscles. They haven't fired off in decades. And then you try to get them to fire off, and they're like, are you serious? You haven't worked a fast twitch muscle in 20 years. Kidding me? You can't just take off and run a 40.
Now, with all that being said,
I'd have to train for a month to run a 40.
If you trained, how fast a 40 do you think you could run? You think you could 5.5?
See, it's tough to answer this question, Rob, because if I say too low, then somebody's going to challenge me, and so I'm gonna just say I
know what I'm doing.
I could get sub 6.
See, I know I couldn't. Maybe I could.
I could get. Well, see, the thing is, Rob, you have what you would work on during your training is your stride.
I do. I have.
If you work on your stride, you know what I mean, versus actually trying to work on the long strides. That's how you'd have to get there. I think I could get sub 6.
I've been working on my stride up a hill.
I know you're looking great.
I'm
walking pays, man.
Glutes.
It's underrated. People like you see someone walking in your neighborhood. That person, I'm telling you, it's good work.
I just never thought I'd be the old guy walking.
Well, that's what happens when you dog sit for 3 months.
No, I'm on the side of the road. People ask me, "Where's your dog?" He got tired, stayed home. We'll talk football over the weekend. All kinds of games and where you can watch. That is not. See, we reach an age where we pay other people to run for us.
That's the question, Dave. When the last time you took off and sprinted?
This all-out speed, not 5 steps to grab a kid. I'm talking about at least like one side of the yard to the other, like 20 yards minimum. You are all out.
And the thing is, you have to stop. That's the other part of it that people don't take into account. Like, what happens when your mind is telling your body to stop?
It's that top heaviness.
Dude,
you can't. You're falling forward like a good running back.
Right.
I'm always gaining yards
Zeke
on my way down.
Yeah, call me Zeke. I fall forward, baby.
Hey, coming back, let's look back on a legend. We lost Gil Brandt, the architect of America's team. Drew Pearson joined the Blitz. He'll reflect on a great man, and we'll look back on what this man meant to Dallas Cowboy history. Remember, he drafted Troy, baby. We'll be right back on R&R here on 94.1, San Antonio's Sports Star. Play some cards.
Let's play some cards. That's right. SA Card House is the premier card house in San Antonio. And for their 6-year anniversary, instead of celebrating, they're just trying to put some money into your pocket. Over $270,000 in prizes. They're going to give all that away by September 30th. Along with money, they're going to give away 2 brand new cars. One 2023 Dodge truck, one 2023 Dodge Challenger SXT. But you got to play to get the pay to get raffles into that Dodge Ram drawing. 1 ticket per every 50 hours. And a lot of you guys are pros. A lot of you gals are pros and you're playing. Why not go play with the opportunity to win a Dodge Ram truck 2023 at that? Now, only 20 names are going into the hopper for the Challenger. 20. Think about that. 1 in 20 chance. And to boot SA Card House, because a lot of times when you win these prizes, you get you backstage and they tell you, oh, by the way, you're going to owe $6,000 in taxes. SA Card House is aware of that, so they know what they said. I'm not going to give you a truck or give you a car and then ask you to give me $5,000. They're going to take care of the taxes for you. That's why they are the premier card house. And while you're logging all those hours, you're going to run out of fuel. step on over to Foster's Bar and Grill or stay at the table in Foster's Bar and Grill to deliver your food to you. And if need be, it's been a rough day, going by the bar, get you a nice little old fashioned. That's SA Card House, sacardhouse.com. That's SA Card House at 281 in Bitters.
The law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, presents
94.1 San Antonio's Fall Golf Classic, Monday, October 2nd at Olympia Hills Golf Club. Get your slot now for $120 per person or $400 per foursome. Plus, a hole-in-one shot for your chance at $50,000 or a $1,000 gift card. 94.1 San Antonio's Fall Golf Classic, benefiting the Lupus Foundation of America, Lone Star Chapter. Presented by the Law Office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, Flight by Yingling, Twin Peaks, Renewal by Anderson, Meritage Homes, and Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. Sign up now at sasportstar.com.
Hi, everybody. Joe Reinagle here. I want to take a moment to talk to you about advertising on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Yeah, we get this question quite a bit. Here's what you have to do. Contact Morgan Harrison via email. It's morgan.harrison@alphamediausa.com. From there, she's going to have one of our folks connect with you on how you can advertise right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Or since Alpha Media is a full-service advertising company, online, other radio stations, and even television, since that's just about all through the internet. Happy connecting.
Before you fire up that grill, get into Tri-County Meat Market, because a great meal always starts with great meat. Tri-County Meat Market is locally owned and they're full service, believe me, and they've got everything you need to up your grilling game. And now they're featuring MTX beef raised, fed, and harvested right here in beautiful Central South Texas in our beautiful Texas Hill Country. Tri-County has what you need with quality you expect, and you can always take advantage of the 5 for $25. Head over to Tri-County today, and I know you're going to be thanking me later.
For over 17 years, the award-winning legal team at George Salinas Injury Lawyers has been representing personal injury victims all across Texas. Have you been injured in an accident? George Salinas is ready to represent you with free consultations, 24/7 availability, and no attorney fees unless we win. George Salinas Injury Lawyers will help you get the results you need so you can focus on recovery. If you've been injured, one call could change your entire case. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers, 210-225-0909, or visit georgesalinas.com.
George gets justice. Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
When it comes to getting work done on your property, get the power, comfort, and quality you need by choosing Kubota compact construction equipment, like excavators, skid loaders, and track loaders. At Ewald Kubota, we have all the equipment you need, whether you're buying or renting. And we know you need the reliable, dependable equipment Kubota is known for. From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, for 75 years, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer. Visit us at ewaldkubota.com.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hey, listen up, sports bettors. This is Rob Thompson here to tell you about BetUS.com. You know, I only endorse one sportsbook, have for years. It's BetUS.com. And this year, they're celebrating 30 years of sports betting service with a deal I've never seen before. How about up to 30 risk-free bets available to you right now? That's risk-free bets. They're calling it Bet Protect. I'm calling it great. And if that's not enough, BetUS also offers the industry's biggest 125% sign-up bonus. And if you're coming with crypto, there's even more there. BetUS.com. They've been my book for a long time. Make them yours. Get started today by visiting BetUS.com. Or if you want to give them a call, let them do the typing while you talk. It's 1-800-MY-BET-US. That's 1-800-692-3887. That's BetUS.com. Sportsbook and casino. It's where the game begins, and you need to begin right now. Go to 1-800-MY-BET-US. Go to 1-800-692-3887. Call them today. Let them do the typing. If you talk, BetUS.com, it's where the game begins.
Good morning, everybody. Jason Minix here from the Blitz. Starting at 2 o'clock today, we're getting you ready for the first weekend of college football. We'll talk some Aggie football with the great Andrew Monaco as he joins us at 3:15. We'll get the latest on the Dallas Cowboys with John Machota at 5:15. And, of course, it's high school football time. Johnson and O'Connor. Woo! Hey, Rudy, have you read the game notes yet?
You know what, Jason Minix? I have. I even highlighted some things.
You have game notes already?
Yeah, Jason always gives me the game notes
Like
on
already?
Thursday.
Oh, he gets it on Thursday.
Yeah, he gives them to me, drops it off, and then proceeds to quiz me before we go on air. No, it's not that bad. Edwin, are you ready? Are you ready? You're the one that gets.
Well, actually, it's Pledge doing
Pledge
it.
back
Oh,
in the
Pledge.
saddle.
I was just filling in for him last because he was in Port A last week.
Anybody else going to Port A this weekend? Long weekend, Labor Day weekend.
I wish.
Labor Day is crazy at Port A though, so this ain't really my type of weekend.
It's like Valentine's Day. It's
and the
for
thing,
the amateurs.
There are a lot of Brazilian cut. I'm good on that.
What?
Brazilian cut bikinis. I don't want to deal with that.
What?
It's more cheeky.
Oh,
it's a cheeky
we got
bikini.
nalgas going on.
Yeah, too cheeky for me, man. As an old man, you start to feel weird because the older we get, the younger everyone looks. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like, it just gets weird. And I'm like, yo, I don't, like, get me out of here. I don't want to be here when the kids are here.
That's a Will McConaughey quote. You know, have you heard the quote? You know why I love high school girls?
Why is that?
Because I get older and they stay the same.
I guess so, dude. What movie was that?
Dazed and Confused.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, it gets weird. I'm like, nah, I don't want to be here because I got kids that age.
Yeah, football season begins, and we got your Aggies Saturday night at 5. It's Aggies New Mexico. Those Lobos coming into College Station. We got everything you need. It's be presented to you by Ewald Kubota, ABC Home and Commercial Services, Just Pots, the Angry Elephant, right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. And by the way, we too have Andrew Monaco. He's going to be here just after 9 o'clock, Aggies. We'll get the scoop first. We're going to ask the good questions. We'll leave the other ones to the Blitz.
Why are those Longhorns talking to our guy Monaco?
Get educated.
Monaco, all your burnt orange glasses. They're going to win the Big 12. It's going to be easy. They're absolutely, but
Texas.
You want to talk to Monaco? Get out of here, Blitzers.
Taking on that poor liberal arts school, Rice. Picking on those Rice Owls.
Well, those Rice Owls, they'll hire those Longhorns one day, though, won't they?
At least we have the nuts to take on a big state school.
I know. I mean, New Mexico coming in here with what? 75 returning starters.
Something
because
like
none
that.
of them are going to the pros.
Not one. So at least we took out a state school, not some liberal arts. And we'll talk about it in a bit. We were going off air yesterday when Gil Brandt passed, and you know he was noticeably absent from this year's training camp with the Dallas Cowboys. And you keep in mind how we talk about the Cowboys and the value of the boys. What are they? $9 billion, up 13%.
Yeah, so that tells me they'd sell for 15.
Probably.
If Jerry, for whatever reason, they're worth 9. They'd sell. It'd be a crazy bid more. They sell for 15. You got to think about that, Rob. 1 year, up 13%. In 1 year, even the Texans are up 17%.
Well, the reason they have consistently been in the news, now they haven't won a lot, but they've always had a personality that had the star on it.
Right.
They always had somebody worthy of the attention that Dallas Cowboys stars get.
Right.
And those stars were acquired for well over 20 years by Gil Brandt, the guy that changed the game. I mean, he literally took football from a bunch of rich guys with a toy and turned it into a professional business. Scouting became a real thing. He computerized the databases that he built. The way that the Cowboys were consistently able to go out and find talent in the late rounds and were able to take flyers on guys like Bob Hayes and all the things that the Cowboys became, it was because of a guy like Gil Brandt went out and got the guys to literally put on the uniform.
20 straight winning seasons, 5 Super Bowl appearances, and 2 titles with Brandt.
See,
from 1960 to 1988. That's hell of a resume.
I'm of that generation that my entire childhood, the Cowboys always won. It was like that Spurs generation. My son, who his first 20 years of life, they were always playing in May.
Same with my oldest daughter.
Always. Yep. It was just expected. And that generation, my generation, still looks at the Cowboys that way. Because Gil Brandt, for 20 years stocked the shelves for Tom Landry. I mean, they were going to win. It was Batman and Robin. It was this symbiotic relationship. He knew exactly what Tom needed, and he went and got it. And that generation has been behind this billion-dollar industry that Jerry bought into. But let's not kid ourselves. What he bought was what Tex Schramm and Gil Brandt built.
Amen to that. And, also, coined the phrase. Well, the name.
Well, he and Tex were the guys behind.
So we got to throw Tex in there as well.
Yeah. That was a tandem. Tex was the visionary, and Gil Brandt was the architect. Gotcha. And Gil Brandt just went and got the dudes. Consider they did what the Spurs did. They went and drafted a guy at the Naval Academy that they had to wait on. They drafted Roger and David are the same dude. They just did a different sport.
Like that. I don't know if I've heard anybody say that, but yeah, it makes sense though.
And they had the wherewithal and the backing to go get a guy that they were going to have to literally wait on.
That's crazy, right?
And
it paid off.
He drafted Troy. He drafted Drew Pearson. He drafted another one of those faces of the 70s. And Drew, who now Hall of Famer Drew Pearson, joined the Blitz yesterday, good friend of the show. And he talked a lot about Tex Schramm, both what he did for him personally and professionally. Here's a couple of Drew's thoughts.
Oh, he was always that way. All you had to do was trigger him, okay? Say some words, say South Carolina State, He'll tell you a story about when he went to South Carolina State, this coach over there. He'll tell you a story about this guy over here. He knew everybody about, not just even me. He knew I played baseball. He knew I played basketball in high school. He even knew my batting average, 444.
Wow.
My senior year, just saying. He even knew my batting average my senior year, and things like that.
That's
he
crazy.
Knew more about people that in-depth knowledge of people, and that's what made him special. Scouts knew the measurables and all that, how high you can jump, things they do at the combine. Everybody knows that. But Gil went deeper into people's personal lives. He knew your mom's name, your dad's name, how many brothers and sisters you have, and stuff like that. And you felt maybe you were special because he knew you that well. But no, you weren't special. He just knew everybody like that. That's how he did things.
Drew Pearson yesterday on the Blitz reflecting on Gil Brandt. The myth of the scout, the guy that beats the path, that goes to the little high school in the middle of nowhere and finds the unknown. Right. He did it over and over. He's the guy that we all think about. But he took the idea of the mythical scout and the stopwatch and the spiral notebook and the notes, and he computerized it. He put it onto a database. And he, along with Pete Rozelle,
nice,
and Al Davis,
nice, legends, all legends,
they brought football to where it is now. It was those guys. Al Davis, the visionary owner who understood the value of the franchise and what he could bring to the owners as far as, leveraging the brand against the city and getting in the county and the state and getting money from places that didn't ever own it. Al Davis was the one that bounced his franchise around, and Gil Brandt taught the league how to put together a team.
Yeah, man. I mean, the list goes on. Again, full life. I know Drew told the Blitz yesterday, even though he was 91, it's still probably too soon. But, to go even farther, like Drew was just saying, oh, man, he knew my mom's name, knew what my batting average was and this and that. He even helped him with his first apartment.
Well, first of all, once I got to Dallas, I was married at the time. He hooked me up with an apartment. And the apartment was located right next door to the Dallas Cowboys practice field.
Valley Ranch.
The apartment that he gave me, or that I was assigned to, the balcony overlooked the Dallas Cowboys practice field parking lot. And I found out what kind of car Roger Staubach was driving. And I would sit on that balcony all day if I had to, until that car pulled into that parking lot. And then I would shoot over to that practice field and start working out with Roger. And anyway, I impressed Roger enough that one day I was working out and I was a little tired because Gil had hooked me up with a job at Merchant's Van Line. loading semis during the day and then working out and then sitting on that balcony waiting for Roger to show up that evening. And Roger noticed that I was a little tired. I said, well, I work during the day. He said, you do? So Roger went to Gil Brandt and asked him, can you help this guy out? And Gil said, yeah. So Gil calls me in and gives me $500. And so, long story short, I ended up making the Cowboys football team, starting the 10th game of my rookie year and finishing out the season with, as a starter and leading receiver. And when the season ended, Gil Brandt says, hey, you had a great season. We want to give you a bonus. I said, oh, that's great. I said, what is it? He said, we want to give you $3,000. I said, oh, my goodness. Wow. He said, yeah, come up to the office on Monday. We'll take care of it. I go up there on Monday. I wait and wait. They finally take me in there. I give that envelope. And the envelope, I opened it up. The check was for $2,500. I said, Gil, what about that $3,000? He said, you remember that $500 I gave you before you made the team? We backed it out of there. And you're sitting there with your mouth open, and you're a rookie. What do you say? Wow, these are the Dallas Cowboys. Okay.
Drew Pearson reflecting on Gil Brandt.
The numbers.
He's just a scout. I mean, he didn't have the pro money.
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm just weird hearing a guy that has a yellow jacket say, oh, yeah, by the way, before practice, I will go unload semis. What? That makes you want to curse out Jonathan Taylor.
Right. And on the other side of it, when you hear the get off my lawn old man, you go, now I get it. Those dudes were having to get a day job.
Dude, Drew Pearson's unloading semis and then going to try and get some work with Roger Staubach. Different times, but it's still crazy where it's come.
We're glad that Gil Brandt got the flowers he deserved while he was alive. He got into the Ring of Honor. Got into the Hall of Fame.
Jerry. And they talked with Drew about that. But yeah, Jerry, hopefully this is kind of one of those things where it's like, you know what? Let me make sure, because for any of us, Rob, it could be today or tomorrow. Any of us. Do what's right, Jerry. Get JJ in there, man. Good Lord.
Maybe that's the kick that'll get him moving.
While I'm alive.
That was perfect. They coming back.
Good job, Edwin.
I hope everybody who didn't have Spectrum had a chance to watch a little bit of college football. You could have switched over to that Minnesota-Nebraska slow poke of a game that turned in pretty good. Let's look back at what we saw last night and look forward. All of our favorite teams are being broadcast nationally one way or the other. We'll tell you where and how you can watch your favorites. Don't forget, Andrew Monaco going to be here just after 9 o'clock as the Aggies look forward to New Mexico. Coming up, college football on the docket. We got it all. This is R&R. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Check out the Jim Rome Show, weekdays at noon.
If you're San Antonio, there are benefits that come along with it. I will cut you the front of the line. We're going to hike the return.
On 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, this is Bobby Jenkins of ABC Home and Commercial Services. Cool weather is a time rodents move indoors. That means rats, mice, and raccoons are seeking shelter inside your home. No matter what kind of rodents have moved in with you, ABC can eliminate them. We'll close up the openings where they enter and catch any that may already be in your house. All of our specialists undergo a comprehensive background screening so you can rest easy with ABC on your property. ABC Home and Commercial Services, specialists for your environment.
Just call ABC Home and Commercial Services.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Hey y'all, my name is Tiara, and a little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A spicy chicken biscuit is that it has the perfect amount of spice to jumpstart my day. Whoever thought of it, thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Robert, and a little thing I love about Chick-fil-A spicy chicken biscuit is the biscuit. It reminds me of my grandma's homemade biscuit. It's always buttery and savory. Then you add the spices, instant classic.
Order the spicy chicken biscuit on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real Chick-fil-A guests paid for their testimonials.
Football's here, and missing your team's out-of-market games is not a great plan. A much better plan? Switch to My Plan from Verizon and get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV on us with eligible phone purchase and unlimited plus. That's a value of up to $449. Get every out-of-market game every Sunday afternoon. Switch to My Plan at your Verizon store today. It's your last chance to get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV on us with eligible phone purchase and unlimited plus. Offer ends soon. $449 value applies to NFL Sunday Ticket season 23-24 only. Additional terms and embargoes apply to NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube. No refunds.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
At the Home Depot, Saturdays are about 2 things. Easy cleanup with the Ryobi 18-volt 1+ Whisper Series leaf blower.
And football.
That's right, Reese Davis. With variable speed, it has the power for when you really need it and just the right amount when you don't. And the 1+ battery platform means you go from yard work to DIY in just a click, so you can get projects done faster.
Which means more time for football.
For football. Upgrade your Saturday with Ryobi and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay. Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm onto something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
R&R in the morning on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, good morning to you.
Top of the morning to all.
September 1. You woke up with a brand new month in the middle of college football. The season began last night. Utah and Florida showed off on what will be a Big 12 SEC matchup in the future. Now a Pac-12 SEC matchup. Utah looked good.
Well, did they look good or did Florida look bad? That's the question for that game because, you know, the big bad SEC, that's not a good way to roll out. Like at the Florida, I mean, keep in mind, I get it. They lost Anthony Richardson, but 11 points.
Yeah, it was not pretty. Billy Napier. Looks like he's over his head.
Tick-tock,
yeah,
tick-tock,
man.
tick-tock.
Florida fan is not happy today. That was embarrassing.
Yeah, that's bad. Again, I don't know if Utah looked good, but hey, if you do think they look good, they'll be 2024. If you're like me, looking forward to it. They're headed to the Big 12.
Yeah, they showed well, and I think
with backup quarterbacks,
the happiest team in the country today is USC.
Why?
Because it looks like they're going to have a pretty easy skate. And with Utah's win, when USC and Utah finally do play each other, the value of that victory is now exponential. Now, Florida's going to have to win a few games to kind of prove
that Utah had a good win.
But I think after watching that game, the strategery, the Game of Thrones behind getting to that Final Four, Lincoln Riley is high-fiving folks because that when they do get a chance to take on Utah on October the 21st.
Well, see, the thing about it is half of these teams, because there's no preseason, are going to look like what Florida looked like last night. It's just your first real, it's your first real action. You got the spring game and a bunch of bull crap scrimmages. So some teams come out like, hey, they don't look half bad, but that's because the other team is like, you know, dusting the cobwebs off. And that's what it kind of looked like with Florida.
And the good news is we've adjusted our mentality and we allow a first game loss. We'll get over it.
Especially if it's someone against a ranked opponent. Right. Like by week 10, we're like, first of all, it's better to lose early in college football. Right. We all know that. But it's also when you look back at whatever week you lost, if it's early and that team was ranked, you say, hey, well, when we lost that game, they were ranked, whatever the ranking was.
Okay, let's look at the games we got coming up and the value and the importance. Before we get to the Aggies and the Longhorns, Colorado and TCU on Saturday. I heard it as I was watching the Nebraska-Minnesota game, and it's going to be on Fox, I guess. I heard the game described as the most important opener, the most anticipated college football opener in 10 years. I don't think it's that big.
No,
but it is anticipated. It's a must-watch game for me.
But, well, yeah, and that's a lot of that has to do with, one, Deion Sanders.
Oh, for me.
Number two, number two, TCU's coming off a national championship appearance. Number three, there's 50-some-odd guys on this Colorado team that came over from the portal. So there is a lot of stake, but I mean, I could think, I don't like to be a prisoner of the moment. There's a lot of week one games over the years. I mean, hell, tomorrow night we get LSU, Florida State. I'm not, if Deion's not the coach, we're not talking about this game. So I get where people are coming from, but if we really look back at week ones over the last 10 years, I'm sure we can find one at this magnitude, but it's just the fact that Deion's at the helm and we're like, well, okay, well, let's see what he can do. This is a 1-11 team. 5 wins for Deion is good, but that won't be accepted because of all the hype around it. Accomplishment when you just came off of 1-11, you got 53 new players from the portal. 70 or 80 something new, 53 in the portal.
And that portal is really, I think, the referendum point.
Right.
I think there's a lot of coaches that are rooting for a
TCU
beatdown.
I think TCU yesterday the line was 20 points. TCU is favored by 20. Now if I were to go to betus.com, that might be one I pass up.
But I do believe that there are coaches out there that want to see this want to see failure from Deion, at least initially, because
I got to give me some Buffalo
of the portal.
Gear. Because the portal.
Because this is the 72 new dudes on this team.
That is insane.
So if you're a coach and you go, you want to see what college football could look like, the worst case scenario, it's Colorado this year.
Right.
Because any coach next year could do the same thing. Next year, your favorite team, whatever that is, the head coach could walk in and say, what was the Deion line about bags and mine are Louis?
Yeah, he said, some of y'all going to be up out of here because I brought my own luggage.
I've decided that the last 4 years of recruiting didn't work. I'm revoking every scholarship, and I'm bringing in an entire new roster. And it's possible.
It sucks for those kids that were there, but if I'm Deion and I know that I have to perform, and this is big time football. This is big boy football. Some of these guys are making 6 figures. Depending on who you are, you might be making 7. If I inherited 1-11, I might bring some Louis too. He didn't inherit what Lincoln Riley did. And I don't even think, well, hell, even Lincoln brought some Louis with him in the form of Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams was at OU. So
at least it wasn't his son.
Right. So keep it, who was it? Chad Brown had him on these airways. Buffalo, 1, 2, 3 Super Bowls. He was on these airways, San Antonio Sports Star. He told us, I don't pay attention to Colorado. He went, and that's huge when the guys played there. Hell, let alone if you just went there, but he played there and he's like, I ain't dealing with that team. That's awful. So when your alumni don't deal with you, why would Deion come in there and deal with you? Yes, he took 50 guys in the portal. We coming is the quote. We coming.
That's early.
Now I just wonder what you think Sonny got over there returning. He lost some firepower.
There is a lot of pressure.
He lost Deuce Vaughn, lost Max Duggan.
Yeah.
A couple receivers.
If you lined up talent for talent, it's probably pretty close.
That's what I'm saying. That's why when I saw 20, I was like, I guess the 20 is just based on the fact like this is gonna be y'all's first game together with 50 new, 70-something new cats.
But I get the sense that there's some coaches that are definitely calling Sonny like, you better get this one. We need you to get it. Hey, Texas taking on Rice. Rice coming into Austin over the weekend. A game you can catch on Fox. FS1. Is it Fox?
UTSA is FS1. I'm not sure where UT's at.
Fox.
It's
regular
Fox.
Fox.
Okay.
Yeah.
Regular Fox broadcast. Quinn Ewers' debut.
Kind of sort of debut. He played last year.
But I mean, debut for this year. How important is it for him to step out and really light things on fire?
I'm sure he's got a few Heisman billboards around the state of Texas. It's huge because we're all kind of, me, for content purposes, maybe struggles a little bit, and then Sark has some questions. And then Sark has some, some things to deal with. Do I go to Malik? Do I go to Eli? Do I go to Arch? But all indications say that Quinn is going to come out and set the world on fire. That he started a little slow in the spring, and then he came on. Because remember, after the spring game, everybody was talking about Malik Murphy. Like, he actually looked the best. Arch looked awful. And then Quinn and Arch kind of got better as, the offseason went along. But we won't get to see anything versus Rice. Now, when y'all, again, okay, Rice, you're going to beat them 58-3 and, move on. What happens when you go to Tuscaloosa?
Do you even put Arch in uniform?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of got to. Everybody got to see him run out. But it's kind of like if you're an alcoholic, you don't keep the vodka in the house.
No. Where do you keep it?
Somewhere
hidden,
because things go south and the boo birds start hitting Ewers. Things are getting bad. The temptation to pull Arch out to appease the crowd.
I have him in uniform, Rob.
Yeah, you have. As a Longhorn fan, I want to see him run out.
Yeah,
I do.
I mean, come on. Like, you based this entire class off of him. Like, some of the, maybe Arch isn't playing right now, but some of those kids that came because literally said, I'm here because to be getting contributions from them this year, even if Arch doesn't. Yeah, you run him out there, and then, you decide after 4 games you're going to redshirt him or not. I forget how far you can go along before you can decide if you want to redshirt him.
I think you can keep it. I think you
all the way to the season. Yeah,
until you put him in. He's still he's got a shirt on.
Hell yeah, you run him out there. Are you kidding me? It's like having a car show and you leave the 67 Shelby in the back and you don't bring, what? Yes, absolutely. I'm running him out there. What number is Arch wearing, Edwin? What uncle is he going with?
I'm gonna go 16.
Or is Eli 18 too? I know Peyton's 18. I don't remember Eli's number because Eli really wasn't that good.
And what did Arch?
Arch is wearing 16. Okay.
Yeah, that's what Peyton wore. No, Peyton wore 18.
Was 18.
And
maybe that's what
did Eli wear?
That's what Granddad
Eli wore 10?
Yes.
What did Arch? The original.
I don't know.
8?
Oh no, that was brown paper bags.
That was before that.
Yeah.
That was black and white TV back then.
Yeah, you run him out there. Number 8. You're right. Damn, Rob, you're on fire today. It was 8.
I'm that old.
Granddaddy.
And I'm bringing in New Mexico.
So yeah, this is Powder Puff Week. I think Georgia's playing Middle Tennessee. Yeah, this is Powder Puff Week.
And for A&M, it needed to be a little bit of a powder puff with a brand new offensive coordinator with Petrino coming in, sophomore quarterback starting, a wide receiver crew as good as they've had in a long time. You wonder what to expect from this offense. We're going to have Andrew Monaco join us just after 9 o'clock. Tell us a little bit about what's been going on behind the scenes. He's the voice of the Fighting Texas Aggies. You can catch him live this Saturday as we're going to play host to the Aggies all season long. To get going about 5 o'clock, at 5 o'clock for a 6 o'clock kickoff as the Aggies play host to New Mexico. Sunday night's going to be a game. Florida State, LSU.
That's on Sunday.
Sunday night.
I'm down. I'm here for it.
We talk about powder puffs. This is not.
No. And then you still got to play an SEC schedule after that, Brian Kelly. Good luck.
Brian Kelly, has a terrible record
on week
playing
one.
Playing top 10 teams. Now, a lot of that's because he's with Notre Dame, and the only time he played top 10 teams was in a playoff, and they haven't been able to get it.
That's a cheap shot.
Well, it's true. I mean,
that's a cheap shot. Just because it's a fact don't mean it's not a cheap shot.
I mean,
facts are facts.
Well, fact is they're probably in class. They probably had homework to do.
They do homework on the plane ride.
You get inspiration from a lot of different places. Andy Reid tells a story about a janitor gave him a play, and he used it and scored a touchdown, and he talked about it. We're going to do the NFL Gumbo a little bit after 7 o'clock as we are counting down to we are just over 1 week. We're at 7 days and counting as the NFL will begin, or 6 days and counting, week from last night. Coming back, we got some more to talk about around the college football world, and we'll see you poor Spectrum viewers. What are you going to do? Where are you going to find your football? This is R&R. You're on 94.1, the San Antonio Sports Star. I only have one book, have for years. It's BetUS.com. I've been working with these guys for, the last 6 years, and it's continuing. This is their 30th anniversary. And to celebrate, they've got something I've never seen before. It's called Bet Protect. They're going to offer you 30 risk-free bets just for coming over to BetUS.com. So not only are they going to give you a sign-up bonus that can be as much as 200%, they will literally double your money if you bring in crypto, or 125% if you just transfer in the money. That's free money to go make bets. So not only are they offering you free money to gamble with, but they're protecting the bets that you make. What are you waiting on? Dial 1-800-MY-BET-US right now. If you'd played last night, you probably have money in your pocket right now if you followed all the lines. As everything comes up this week, and start college football the right way. Be interesting and fun with your friends. Dial 1-800-MY-BET-US right now, or go to BetUS.com to sign up. 200% crypto bonus, 125% sign-up bonus, and a casino bonus. What are you waiting on? They're my book. They're Rudy's book. Make them yours. Dial 1-800-MY-BET-US or go to BetUS.com right now. I'll tell you why. It's where the game begins.
The law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, presents
94.1 San Antonio's Fall Golf Classic, Monday, October 2nd at Olympia Hills Golf Club. Get your slot now for $120 per person or $400 per foursome. Plus, a hole-in-one shot for your chance at $50,000 or a 94.1 San Antonio's Fall Golf Classic, benefiting the Lupus Foundation of America Lone Star Chapter. Presented by the Law Office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, Flight by Yingling, Twin Peaks, Renewal by Anderson, Meritage Homes, and Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. Sign up now at sasportstar.com.
Howdy, Bobby Jenkins of ABC Home and Commercial Services. Trees can be one of your landscape's most valuable elements, and keeping them healthy is always money well spent. ABC's veteran tree staff is manned by ISA and Oak Wilt certified arborists, and we provide tree trimming, tree care, and tree fertilization services. Plus, if you're ever concerned about tree damage from wind or storms, give our specialists a call for a free evaluation. ABC Home and Commercial Services, specialists for your environment.
ABC Home and Commercial Services.
Life moves fast. No one has time for a car, truck wreck, or commercial vehicle accident. At Davis Law Firm, we get it. When you call the force, you don't have to worry about insulting offers from insurance adjusters, property damage, or car rental. We recently settled a wrongful death case in a commercial vehicle accident for $5 million. Net to clients was $2.8 million. I'm Jeff Davis. If you were in a car, truck wreck, or hit by a commercial vehicle, call me at 444-4444. You got it. There's only one number to remember. 4. Attorney consultation by appointment only. Davis Law Firm, San Antonio. Davis Law Firm is a proud official partner, personal injury attorney of the San Antonio Spurs.
Hi, everybody. Joe Reinagel here. I want to take a moment to talk to you about advertising on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Yeah, we get this question quite a bit. Here's what you have to do. Contact Morgan Harrison via email. It's morgan.harrison@alphamediausa.com. From there, she's going to have one of our folks connect with you on how you can advertise right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Or since Alpha Media is a full-service advertising company, online, other radio stations, and even television, since that's just about all through the internet. Happy connecting.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Stop paying all those crazy fees on ticket apps. Need tickets? Stay local and call Awesome Tickets. Big games, big concerts, big events. Awesome Tickets is your personal ticket broker. Any city, any event. Awesome Tickets has your tickets for all the sports, concerts, and events from San Antonio to Las Vegas. Avoid the ticket app fees. Since 1994, Awesome Tickets is local and veteran-owned. Call 210-226-5136 or online at awesometix.com. That's awesometix.com.
Joe Reinagel here. I want to tell you about something that has completely changed my life. I had vision correction surgery at Parkhurst New Vision. The results are amazing. The readers are a thing of the past. Hey, if you're like me and tired of those glasses, call Parkhurst New Vision at 210-585-2020. They offer a variety of services like vision correction surgery. So call Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020, or get them online at sanantoniolasik.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
SA Card House is the premier card house in San Antonio. You can check it all out at sacardhouse.com. Full bar, full restaurant attached, Foster's Bar and Grill. One of the best old-fashioned you're going to get. 3-4 top-level chefs. The best bread pudding that you ever have in your life. I've had just about everything on the menu. And also, for the beginners like myself, they got the free roll on Monday nights, only $35. You play pretty good, guess what? You'll last a little bit longer than I do. But for my pros out there, the 6-year anniversary for SA Card House, and going on now through September 30th, they're going to do 16 hot seat drawings daily from 10 a.m. to 1 a.m. and one ticket for every 50 hours of play or a chance to win a Dodge Ram or a 2023 Dodge Challenger SXT. That's right, over $270,000 in prizes. Check it all out for yourself at sacardhouse.com. That's SA Card House, 281 and Bitters.
Jason Minix here for Tri-County Meat Market. Before you fire up that grill, make sure to get into Tri-County Meat Market. They now feature MTX beef. Beef raised, fed, and harvested from the family-owned and operated ranch in the Texas Hill Country. And Tri-County has everything you need to up your grilling game, from that beef, chicken, pork, fajitas, poppers, and more. And you can always take advantage of their Pick 5 for $25. They always offer a 10% discount for military and first responders. Tri-County Meat Market on Ralph Fair Road and on Heavener, online at tricountymeat.com.
It can happen in an instant. A car accident can change your life forever, from serious injuries to mounting medical bills to battling insurance companies. Accidents make life harder than it should be. If you've been in an accident, George Salinas Injury Lawyers are here for you. They're local, experienced, and ready to fight for results that make a difference. If you've been injured, don't call just any lawyer. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers at 210-225-0909 or visit georgesalinas.com.
George gets justice.
Good morning, everybody. Joe Reinagel here. We have got a jam-packed show coming up on the Blitz. First of all, we're live out at Comalander Stadium, getting you ready for another night of high school football. Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Texas A&M Aggies, will join us at 3:15. And the General, John McClain, he'll join us at 4:30 and give us an update on the Astros and the Texans. Hey, Rob, are you really going to stay up late for our fantasy football draft?
Auto draft, baby. It's R&R in the morning here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. That's just one of the bit of etiquette that goes into fantasy football draft.
What's that?
If you're going to auto draft, let everybody know so your commissioner can fix the settings.
Can you adjust the settings to where right after the pick it goes to the next person?
It should.
Yeah,
now, there are some
thing
services that make you wait for the entirety before they'll make the auto pick, and I get it, but if that's the issue, tell your commissioner change your league, because if you're moving along at 10:30 at night and there's two dudes that are auto drafting and that's a 3-minute wait, a 4-minute wait, depending on what your league settings
awful,
are,
dude.
That adds another 30-45 minutes to the draft.
Because the auto draft, don't they pick it right away?
It should.
Right.
But I know that the time that I auto drafted, that made them wait all the way through the pick. So because I wasn't there and you go extra 4 minutes. No, not everybody makes their pick immediately.
But still, move the draft along.
Move it along. That's just part of the etiquette.
It's the craziest thing y'all have done for to determine who picks y'all's draft. It's just like a random drawing.
Yeah, I've never done anything outrageous like run the 40-yard dash, and then the new punishment. The punishment for losing
is
that
tattoos. work a day here, wear a jersey. Like, no.
You can barely get me to care after week 8.
Depends on your record.
So maybe me having to sit in a Waffle House for 18 straight hours, eating a waffle every hour, might be enough to motivate me.
Where's the trophy?
It's sitting in my trunk. I'm keeping it. I'm never giving it back, Bob Ballou. Hey, coming back, let's look around the NFL. The gumbo she is steaming. We are under a week away from the NFL, and there's lots to talk about. Andy Reid stole a play from a janitor. That's the story. You're on R&R. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, everybody. Jason Minix here from the Blitz. Starting at 2 o'clock today, we're getting you ready for the first weekend of college football. We'll talk some Aggie football with the great Andrew Monaco as he joins us at 3:15. We'll get the latest on the Dallas Cowboys with John Machota at 5:15. And, of course, it's high school football time. Johnson and O'Connor. Hey, Rudy. Have you read the game notes yet?
Never been arrested? The law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, can help regardless of the legal battle you are facing, personal injury or criminal defense. Attorney Jesse Hernandez and his team are ready to fight for you. Calls are answered 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. Call 210-807-8656 or visit jessehernandezlaw.com. That's 210-807-8656 or jessehernandezlaw.com. The law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-652-5656. 800-652-5656. That's 800-652-5656.
O'Reilly. Protect your engine against sludge and wear with a synthetic oil change. O'Reilly Auto Parts has 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for $35.95. Plus, get a $5 O reward to use on a future purchase. Our professional parts people can also recommend all the supplies you need for your next oil change. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FIND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FIND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FIND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Your home for the Cowboys.
Crashed that all the way, runs it in for the touchdown.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Hall of Famer and Ring of Honor recipient Gil Brandt passed away yesterday at the age of 91. He had 20 straight winning seasons, 5 Super Bowl appearances, and 2 titles. Also, the tight end market was reset by the Vikings tight end T.J. Hawkinson, who got 4 years, $68.5 million contract. 42 is guaranteed. And the Rangers are back in action today on 12:50 versus the Twins.
It's 0600. What's the O stand for? Oh my God, it's early.
Wake me up, wake me up, wake up, wake me up. So wake me up, wake up.
Rob Thompson,
Ginobili the other way in transition to the left slam.
I want some nasty.
Rudy J,
Cowboys win. How else would you settle this game?
Begin each day as if it were on purpose.
I wake up in the morning, I piss excellent.
R&R in the morning on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, good morning.
It's R&R, a Friday edition. We join you in the midst of the college football season. Yes, it has begun. Games last night, games all weekend long, games that we can watch on our cable provider, unless you have ESPN and are in Spectrum customer. You lost it last night. Sorry.
Right before kickoff. Like, hey, man, it's college football. Y'all, let's get it. Then
cut the cord.
What did it go to?
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, I saw it when I walked into the studio this morning.
Or it just went off.
No, it said there was a banner that was on the screen for ESPN, and it was like, it's Disney's fault. We tried to, it was a whole paragraph.
Oh, gotcha.
Disney's fault. Let's blame Disney.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good blame. I mean,
I'm looking at, it's called the 2023 NFL Kickoff Guide. I think you have one in front of you as well.
Yes, I do.
This was sent to us by the NFL.
Because we're on the NFL's email list. We're important.
We're buddies like that.
Yeah, we're
and
important.
It's a lot of the pertinent things to look for as the season begins. Potential records that are going to be broken or tied or surpassed by different players. Last year, to give you an idea,
it was one of those years. A lot of close games. A lot of good football games last year. Well, I don't know if they were good, but they ended up being close.
On the last day of the regular season, there were 20 teams still in contention for the playoffs. That was the most since 2006, and that's expected to be the same way again this year.
Really?
4 teams clinched a division title after not winning their division the previous year: Jacksonville, Minnesota, Philadelphia, and San Francisco. At least 2 teams have won their divisions the season after missing the playoffs in 19 of the last 20 years. So the expectation is if we follow what has been in the past, and that is no guarantee of future accomplishments, there are 2 teams that didn't make the playoffs that will make the playoffs this year at the minimum.
Mahomes is trying to find his way into some great company. He has 24,000 passing yards, 192 TDs. He can catch Peyton and Dan Marino for the most in each category by a quarterback in his first 7 seasons. Some pretty good company. Now, he's already ahead of Dan. If he quit today, I mean, screw stats. He already has 2 rings. Peyton does have 2. But yeah, Daryl G, YouTube, tight ends and fullbacks are reset in the NFL, but running backs on minimum wage. It's a straight collusion by the NFL.
You see TJ Hawkinson of the
17 a year. I know, who's happy in Birdman hand rubbing is Travis Kelce.
Yes.
Travis Kelce's like, all right, Andy, like, say bye to me.
Running backs.
Y'all be all right.
That money that we thought had left the running back pocket and gone into the wide receiver pocket, well, they're wrangling in the wide receiver market. That's coming back. But now it's all going to tight ends.
Yeah, and if you look down, Travis is all the way down to number 4. Now, it's not far, but it's far.
We have reached a point where a franchised tight end is more expensive than a franchised running back.
Which is unfortunate.
That's wrong. That is not or is it?
Evan Ingram should not be making more than Saquon Barkley. I'm sorry. Now keep in mind, I thought Evan Ingram was washed. I thought he was done. I thought he was just not a bust, but not what the Giants thought they were going to get. He goes to Jacksonville, and Doug Peterson immediately puts him to work. He had a great year last year.
Well, is he a wide receiver or a tight end?
Well,
I think he's a big wide receiver. We can call him a tight end.
I would have him call Jimmy Graham and say, Jimmy, tell him what Sean Payton told you. Even though Sean Payton was lining you up at wide out, ask Jimmy Graham what Sean Payton told him when it came to contract negotiation time. And that's why Mike McCarthy threw in there yesterday. Well, Micah Parsons is a linebacker. No, the hell he ain't. So it depends on where you are. You are what pays less.
Well said.
So Evan Ingram was a receiver last year, Rob.
I'm a tight end. I know I line up behind the quarterback and carry the ball a lot, but I'm really a tight end.
Because if Evan really was getting what he's supposed to, Rob, he'd be about 23 and not 13 a year.
Look at the average pay, you can go all the way down to where are we getting?
Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill, which,
$10 million. Which he ain't no tight end.
So there are 13
now he is.
tight ends, starting with Zach Ertz. At how much has he got there? 11, 10 and a half?
10-5, and we don't even know when he's going to play. I think he's on the pup.
That's the franchise number right now for running backs, 10-5.
Right.
So the 13th highest paid tight end gets the franchise amount that like Tony Pollard.
Crazy. That's crazy. Bears, Cole Kmet. He don't even know if Justin Fields can get him the ball, and he's at 12-5. Hunter Henry is hurt right now, probably, and he's at 12-5.
Jonathan's hold out, baby. Don't come back. Jonathan, you're the last best hope for the running backs.
Dude, it's crazy where we are. But the tight end it's become more important. When you look at it, like Goddard is a huge deal for Jalen Hurts. Of course, we don't even have to talk Kelsey. George Kittle can do it all. Mark Andrews has been the Baltimore's leading receiver for the past, I don't know how many years. So the tight end has become more important, Rob. I can't tell Jonathan Taylor that. But I'm just saying, it's become a lot more important.
Tony Gonzalez just dreams of the money he could have made. It's not that the owners don't have it. The annual Forbes team valuations are in, and nobody lost money.
No.
Cowboys came in at number one, valued at $9 billion, up 13%. The Texans, congratulations, Cal.
Now, remember, they had one of their original owners get in a little bit of trouble. And remember when the first thing you said was, if they decide to boot him, the line will be around the building like it's a new chicken joint.
There's a minority owner of the Texans that evidently has some sexual assault allegations after the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, and they still haven't made him sell. But if they do, considering your team just jumped a whopping, 13% from last year, 17%. It's a hell of an investment. That's why Rob asks, every time someone sells, Rob asks the question, what in the hell are you selling for? Like, what could you possibly do or invest in that's going to jump 17% per year?
I mean, where are you finding a better deal unless you are divorced or you have hit
there's that
desperate times?
Or unless you plan on buying something else.
You pry major league ownership and you pick the league. I'm even going down to hockey or soccer.
Would you do MLS too?
Yes. You'd have to pry that franchise from my cold, dead hands. There is no more ongoing, consistent moneymaker
than a pro franchise.
And as we reach these billion-dollar valuations, can we get away from salary cap? Can we get away?
That's all I want.
From the salary cap is one thing. And as you go down the valuations, I don't see a WNBA team up there. But when I see how valuable even those franchises have become, and these ladies are still flying commercial, can we all just admit that every owner now is able to support or should be able to support every teammate as much as the wealthiest owner? They're all the same.
You see, at the time when they went away from it, when San Fran and Dallas, it felt like they were just trading players because there was no salary cap. That time it made a little bit more sense because we weren't where we are. Now, some of these guys were just getting in and trying to make their money back. But right now, when I see the Houston Texans, who have never done anything, jumping 17% per year and are worth $5.5 billion, there is absolutely no reason whatsoever that Jerry Jones, who made 1.1 after bills, profit after he paid everybody and every vendor and everything that you could possibly think of everything that Jerry Jones has to pay for. After he did that, he touched 1.1 billion. And you gonna tell that man he can't pay more than this amount?
You can't have
players?
Will Greer.
Yeah, like I can't keep Will Greer. I can't give Tony Pollard $20 million a year and Trayvon Diggs and CeeDee Lamb. He made a billy. Let's say we take that, he made 1.1. He could take that 100 and spread it out through the rest of his team and never lose anyone.
And it's easier for us to say that to Jerry. But I always felt bad about asking the Rooney family.
Not anymore, though.
Old man Rooney showing up with his lunchbox. And, oh, by the way, we're going to need you to pay Ben $20 million a year. And Ben, old man Rooney's eating a cheese sandwich out of a lunchbox. And you're like, well, I can see why to him as an owner, you're like, I can't imagine ever paying anybody that kind of money. but the Rooneys are now corporate. Everybody's got money now.
Yeah.
The Bengals, the Brown family has enough money to exist without a salary cap and shouldn't be forced to have to make a decision in a year from now whether they want to keep the dudes that got them where they are.
The cheapest owners in the league for the longest we've known has been the Bengals. Now, keep this in mind. They just made a Super Bowl run and an AFC Championship run on a team full of rookie deals. So think about what they took home. You see what I'm saying, Rob? On a team full of rookie deals, you paying a guy or two here, there, linebacker, Joe Mixon, yes. But for the most part, the guys that are getting you to a Super Bowl and having you selling merch out of your ears are all on rookie deals. And yes, there should be no – in the NFL of all, because they're the king of the kings and their money is just – they make money while they sleep. There should never be a salary cap in the NFL, ever. NBA, I kind of get it because we don't watch it like that and the attendance is weird sometimes. Okay, fine. In NFL, there should not be a salary cap. It's stupid.
And I think we should allow the owners to just go spend what you want. Do what you want and treat your team however you want. If it's a boat, you can treat it like a boat.
Mine.
And fandom will understand. And maybe you have to sell it because they don't care about how you're spending your money. But this is a double-edged sword. Because when I see that even the Houston Texans are worth $5.5 billion, that when you come to me as a tax-paying citizen of city where you live and work and ask for tax abatements.
Right. Dude.
Now, you can I will allow you to spend your money the way you want, I think. But at the same time, you don't get none of mine.
But is it San Francisco and Dallas's fault for okay, Charles Haley, you go to Dallas now. Dion, you go to San Fran now. Is it their fault because we got kind of fatigued from them?
It is
buying up all the players.
It is the natural order of America. It is business. The big ones survive. The sharks win.
Right, and everywhere else, that's how it works, right?
If you are good at what you do, you get bigger. But they implemented rules to protect themselves from each other because some guys were willing to spend and try to win, and one of them, others looked at their franchise like it was a CD.
But the thing is, the salary cap protects the owners, and then allows them to make more money. It's like I can only pay. Yeah, I can only pay so many people because of salary cap, so I'm going to just pocket the rest.
And when the players see this kind of valuation and they're only getting, say, 48% of the gross, and you're like, I know you're telling me it's billions, and it is, but you as owner are keeping 40 or 48%, 46%.
You Zach Martin, I had to sit at home for 2 months and you cleared a Billy? Cleared. And they're going to tell Micah he's a linebacker here in a year or two. Clearing a Billy. You're a linebacker, Micah. It says it right here.
It says right here, we watched not that film, the other film.
Yeah. BetUS is the place to be. It's football time. I know y'all want to place bets. I know you're tired of dealing with your local bookies. Nothing wrong with the local bookies, but you want to be legit. You want to be on point. You want to get 125% sign-up bonus. You got to do that at BetUS.com. Why? Because they're celebrating 30 years, and what do? They're going to give you 30 risk-free bets. Yes, 30 risk-free bets. It is called Bet Protect. If that ain't enough, again, they offer you 125% sign-up bonus. Yes, you heard me, 125%. But there's more. They got a massive 200% crypto sign-up bonus and a 250% casino bonus. So visit BetUS.com today or give them a call at 1-800-MY-BET-US. That's 1-800-MY-BET-US. That's BetUS.com, sportsbook and casino, where the game begins.
I'm on my account right now. Had a nice little win last night. Utah
you already jumped in there?
Yes, I got a Bet Protect going on. I got a bunch of easy bets to make, and I got a bonus I can play with. Go to BetUS.com right now and play with some free money.
I mean, damn, Rob was jonesing. Rob didn't waste no time. First night of college football, but you probably had a little bit of money in there from last year, didn't you?
I do. I walked in the door with this is from last year, a balance of $625. And I still have a free play balance of $100. I had a nice.
You've been holding out on me. Why don't you tell me to place these bets so I can get some money?
Honest to God, Rudy, I hit it yesterday, and I hit a couple of bets at the Super Bowl that I had forgot about. I had
you hit a couple prop bets.
I hit a couple. Well, I hit a prop
Gatorade color.
No, I hit the first quarter over under, and I hit one other that ended up with. I think I started with like 300, ended up with $600 bounce. Didn't even realize. Still just sitting there waiting on me.
Can we talk about this? Is the statute of limitations hit on us having insider info on Rihanna's set list?
It has passed. We can admit.
We can talk about.
We can admit the truth.
So we had a couple people that were watching Rihanna. Her
the
rehearsal
blackout performance that no one's supposed to know.
Yeah, her rehearsal.
It was right. They were right.
Yes, and they were like, "Hey, you can bet on what song Rihanna's going to come out to." And I know which one it is because I just watched her warm up. And Rob and I, you remember the scene in American Gangster where they're sitting in the car and they're debating whether to keep the $1 million and turn it in?
Should we?
Rob and I are sitting we're sitting on Radio Row like, man, should we do this?
Because if we take it, everybody will go, that's cool. But if we turn it in, we're no one wants to be around a clean cop.
So we debated for a while, like, man, you know what? Let's do it. And then we decided not to.
That's wrong.
We decided not to.
And it was right.
Then they were right. So then now you look back, you like, damn, that would have been a come up.
We would have been. Next thing you know, we would have been on that Undisputed.
Well, you know what would have happened, Rob?
Two disgraced radio hosts,
or we would have got home and our roofs would have caved in. You know what I'm saying? Something bad would have happened, and you wouldn't have got to use the money anyway. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way stuff like that happens without some type of karma.
A taste of Judson karma.
Wow.
I got a lot of clapback. There's a lot of Judson grads.
Oh my God!
My
dude.
God!
What did you hear
Y'all
from? Some,
settle down.
Did you hear from some Rockets yesterday?
Oh my gosh!
Are you serious?
I had no idea how many. I knew y'all were big, and that's another suck it, Judson,
right?
Because you had 8,000 graduates and only 2 grade levels. Yeah, suck it. But of those 8, I had no idea how many friends I knew that went to Judson.
Like, hey man, take it easy. And then they had all their excuses as to why this is that. This whatever, Judson.
They were throwing West Campus in my face.
Oh, I got a text from that too. Like, well, tell Rob West Campus could never be us.
You're right. Suck it, Judson. I really had no idea. RJ Ochoa is just around the corner.
I'm ready for RJ. I got to talk to RJ.
RJ going to come on. We'll reflect on Gil Brandt. These starters are in place. All the questions that we have to answer with the brand new quarterback in the building. RJ Ochoa of Blogging the Boys will join us next and enlighten us with his witty banter. We're so glad you're with us. It is a Friday. Treat it appropriately. This is R&R, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We're talking about BetUS.com. I am looking at my page right now. There is money there waiting on me to play. And you know what? If you're a book player like me, that's great. And if you're looking for everything in-game, they've got the live betting. They've got everything you need to have a fun and exciting day at the games. But if you want to get up on the casino, they've got that. And if you're a casino bettor, you want to play some blackjack and you're just beginning with them, how about a great bonus to start? This is above and beyond the book side of things. A 250% casino bonus for signing up right now. So if you like to play the games, the table games and all of that, BetUS has that as well. But if you're playing the line like I do, it's time to go to BetUS. A 30-bet Bet Protect program is in play right now. And not only are they going to give you a 125% sign-up bonus, that's your money doubled plus 25% to play with. Yes, that's what you get when you go to BetUS.com. You also get the Bet Protect. That's 30 risk-free bets. Go get all the details at BetUS.com. Or better yet, just call them. 1-800-MY-BET-US. 1-800-692-3887. 1-800-692-3887. That's BetUS.com. The only book I endorse. Go there today. I know you're going to be thanking me later.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
We've got tickets to see Skid Row and Buck Cherry.
Now, Skid Row would have been good. I know a few of their songs, I think. But Buck Cherry, I don't
You heard that song, Crazy Bitch?
I lived it.
Wow.
Did I say that?
Ride home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Are you enrolled in Medicaid or a program like CHIP? Many people in San Antonio are at risk of losing their coverage. Access to affordable, quality health care is important to physical and mental health. Metro Health reminds you to update your information with Texas Health and Human Services. Look for a yellow envelope in the mail that says Action Required from Texas Health and Human Services. For assistance with your Medicaid renewal, call Enroll SA at 210-977-7997 or log into your Texas Benefits account and renew today.
It's Raymond and Austin. We're back on All-Star Sports Radio, celebrating our 30th year. Our sportsbook and casino sponsor BetUS.com is offering a 125% sign-up bonus plus up to 30 risk-free bets.
It's called Bet Protect, the perfect offer for crazy plays, like the famous butt fumble. It's the GOAT of embarrassing plays.
Really, remember when you bet me you could do a live show with a GOAT as your co-host and he face-kicked you?
Thankfully, I didn't take the under on that one.
Anyway, folks, get Bet Protect today. The industry's biggest 125% sign-up bonus plus up to 30 risk-free bets. BetUS.com, where the game begins.
Now's the time to get a great deal on Kubota construction equipment, featuring durable Kubota engines, more comfort, more productivity, more get it done right. A Kubota construction lineup shows up ready to work every day. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 36 months. Now through September 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, for 75 years, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
Here's something you won't hear from any other jeweler. Right now, when you buy a diamond at Diamonds Direct, we'll give you a free gold setting for it. Yes, a 14-karat classic solitaire setting in white gold or yellow gold at no charge with any natural diamond purchase. So all your money can go toward a bigger diamond while you still get the classic look she wants in that engagement ring. Another example of Diamonds Direct's extraordinary value. Or if you want to take it up to the next level, Diamonds Direct also has a fantastic selection of halo, pave, vintage, 3-stone, and other popular mountings. Or maybe she wants a designer ring, like the one she's seen on social media. Well, Diamonds Direct has those too. In fact, we are an authorized retailer for all the top designers from New York and California. Whichever setting you choose, you'll also be able to choose your finance plan. Diamonds Direct now has a wide range of finance options with attractive rates and terms up to 60 months, so you can get the ideal setting to fit your style with the ideal payment to fit your budget. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Store hours, directions, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
Have you or a family member been arrested? The law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, can help regardless of the legal battle you are facing, personal injury or criminal defense. Attorney Jesse Hernandez and his team are ready to fight for you. Calls are answered 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. Call 210-807-8656 or visit jessehernandezlaw.com. That's 210-807-8656 or jessehernandezlaw.com. The law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla.
Yuengling, America's oldest brewery, has been making beer in America for 6 generations. And for nearly 200 years, we've been all about bringing the good times. By hand, by foot, by bike, by bikers, by fanny pack or jetpack, by whatever means necessary. With Yuengling Traditional Lager, good times taste even better. Yuengling, bring the goods.
Drink responsibly.
Nigel, why are you wearing a backpack?
I'm going back to school.
Folks, when your AC decides to flunk out or your home's plumbing is stuck in detention, you don't have to worry. At Quarter Moon Plumbing, AC, and Heating, our technicians are certified with all the latest technology and can fix any plumbing or AC issue fast and at a fair price because you deserve A-plus service.
Gotta go, Joel. We're studying paper mache. I might have to pull an all-nighter.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. 210-651-5899. License number 160074345E.
I'm not exaggerating when I say this. QC Kinetics can change your life. You can live again without that chronic joint pain and without drugs or surgery. Hey, it's James Pledger with 941 San Antonio Sports Star, and QC Kinetics is advanced regenerative medicine. They take your body's own concentrated healing properties and put them right back into your joints to restore and repair that damaged tissue that's causing you all of that horrible pain. The patient satisfaction reports are astonishing. Finally, a real alternative to the old ways of dealing with pain. And unlike surgery, there's no downtime with QC treatments. If you have a constant pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or back, you need to call and get a free consultation. Imagine this fall, moving around pain-free, doing the things you love again, walking, hiking, golfing, playing with the grandkids. Call QC Kinetics and see how the latest advances in precision regenerative medicine can attack the pain and bring you lasting relief. Now is the best time to get started. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
It's the RJ Ochoa Show on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. What's going on in Jerry's world? What's the latest from Cowboy Camp? Find out right here. Friday mornings at 7:30 and 9:30 with the manager and editor-in-chief of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Here's Robin Rudy.
It's R&R wrapped around at RJ. This is the R&R intro portion to the RJ Ochoa Show. He's Rudy J. I'm Rob Thompson. We're in maroon. I can't tell what color RJ's in. Why are you in the dark, RJ? Welcome on.
It's great. It's great to be with you guys. Happy Friday. I'm a little under the weather, if that isn't obvious. And so,
I'm kind of like a vampire right now. You know what I mean? That's how you want the house. You're not feeling well. Like everything's just got to kind of match your internal tone. But the good news is I sound sexy. Like Phoebe.
You do. You got a little
with my voice like this. Yeah.
Now
So,
the good thing is
pros and cons.
The good thing is I'm almost positive because I know everyone here dealing with it too. I think it's more severe allergies. Don't mean you feel better, but it isn't, the flu or anything. But I think it may be severe allergies. I don't know what the hell's floating, but it's bad.
It's tough times, but we got to power through.
Has it spread around the Ochoa household? Are you the only one ill? Have you?
It has.
Yeah.
And they don't tell you that when you're a kid and you're like, I'm sick, and you can do whatever you want. They don't tell you like, hey, when you're an adult and you're the head of the household and everyone is sick, you have to still
got to do everything.
Responsibilities, and everyone who depends on you needs their stuff. And if you get a new puppy before, she's still gonna piss on the floor. So like all that stuff is still going on. It's still making my life.
Adulting sucks, my friend. It's also quite beneficial when you see the little one. How's the puppy doing, by the way? Before we talk some Trey Lance.
She's actually really great. We originally were going to call her Lady Bear. We've decided to call her Honey. So we've got Bear and Honey. Thinking about renaming our house to the 1,000 Acre Woods. And she's sleeping through the night, which is really the biggest thing that I care about because her poops are so small. They're like, you can poop 10 times in the house, and it's really not going to affect us that much.
No. Those are just little pebbles. You good.
But those grow.
Exactly.
Fix that early.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right. So this has been an interesting week for our Dallas Cowboys. And I really don't even know where to begin because I'm not even sure how big a story this is. But the Trey Lance move kind of tilted the scale on a lot of different fronts. The Mike McCarthy situation, where Dak Prescott is as quarterback, and then just the idea of maybe the quarterback of the future already in the building. With underneath this grand umbrella of the story, what do you make of Trey Lance arriving, the draft pick that went out, the McCarthy unaware, and the Dak being unaware, and all that kind of goes into this mix?
So first, let me offer. I'm going to trust Rudy. My apologies to Rudy. I did not remember. Maybe the sickness was already infiltrating my mind last Friday when this happened. And I really did not remember Rudy. And also when Rudy texted me about this, my phone was being attacked
you were
by
getting
everybody
killed.
in the world.
Yeah, I could imagine.
So it was very difficult to compartmentalize everything. I will agree, Rob, this has been a really unique thing. And my initial reaction was one of sensitivity for Dak Prescott, because I was immediately pre-annoyed. I was pre-annoyed at what all of this week's national headlines would be, and I'm glad to say that I forecasted that completely correctly. But the weird thing about this that a lot of people don't want to accept is that this is so often in the NFL you can look at a situation and you can look at how timelines are all moving in one direction, whether it's towards a rebuild or this or that or whatever. These timelines match whatsoever. And that's why, the idea that Trey Lance is the quarterback of the future is absurd, even if you're the biggest Dak Prescott critic in the world. Dak's cap number next year is just south of $60 million. That has to be extended. I mean, there's no way the Cowboys carry that into 2024. At the same time, in the offseason, they're going to have to figure out whether they want to pick up Trey Lance's 50 option or not. And there's no way that they're going to tie themselves up in that much quarterback money, even if Trey Lance shows all the wonder in the world about practices this entire season. And so, in all likelihood, they're heading into next year with Trey Lance in a contract year and Dak Prescott sweet extension that ties into the Cowboys for what will then be, the next 3 to 4 years.
Well, then why do it, RJ? Like, because I mean, I disagree with you. I think there's I don't know how big a percentage, but I do think there's a small percentage of Jerry that feels like this could be the future. But where you break it down makes total sense. So that's why I ask you, then why do it?
I mean, that's a great question. And I guess if you have to answer it, the answer is that this is a league where quarterbacks are the hottest ticket in town. You can never have enough, even when you have, one. And if you trade for Trey Lance and he turns out to be great and you can flip him for something, awesome. If he turns out to be great and you really think he's better than Dak Prescott, okay, that's a difficult problem to solve, but you can do it. I mean, for what it's worth, again, if we're exploring all tentacles of this situation, the Philadelphia Eagles took on the biggest dead cap hit in NFL history from trading Carson Wentz because they felt like they had to move on. They felt like they had an answer worth exploring in Jalen Hurts in that 2021 season. And obviously that worked out great for the Eagles, but they did have to eat that money. So it's not uncommon that to happen. It happened relatively recently, obviously. But if you're playing the game of all likelihood, it's that nothing really materializes from this. But again, I think the why is, why not? Why not take a stab at this? We know Mike McCarthy historically loves to have a quarterback to develop. They got one for a really cheap price who is far better than anybody they would have drafted this year. It's just a weird thing that creates some weird discussion.
This timing was so odd, and I understand that you couldn't fix the timing. The timing was what it was, but the situation just kind of exploded in everybody's face, it felt like.
Yeah, and I will say I don't think there's any. I'm not, as a fan or anything, bothered by Mike McCarthy not being told, by Dak Prescott not being told, because at the end of the day, this decision shouldn't involve them, right? I mean, it's fine if you want to, but this is a roster management decision. This isn't to do with the offensive scheme. This isn't to do with the offensive implementation. Those are the facts of football that Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott have their hands over. I mean, it's no different in my mind than the Cowboys not consulting them on who they should take in first round. There are different responsibilities here. But that being said, vocalizing that you didn't tell them is an interesting choice, to say the least. That's the little bit of pot stirring that it felt like happened here. That's what made all this really annoying. But again, I don't think you have to tell them, because you should be that simpatico. I mean, it's understood that Mike McCarthy likes to have a quarterback to develop. And the Cowboys, for what it's worth, have only drafted 2 quarterbacks in the Dak Prescott era. They took Mike White in the 5th round in 2018 and Ben DiNucci in the 7th round in 2020. And so I know everybody made a big deal about Dak's comments last Saturday night. I think by now it's well understood that he was probably more upset on behalf of Will Greer than anything. But I mean, if on the remote possibility Dak is in his feelings, which I don't think to be the case personally, if he is, dude, chill out, because this idea is what, and this position is what led to you having your job. If the Cowboys hadn't been forward thinking in 2016 and taken a stab with a 4th round pick in the exact same way, I mean, they would have been up a creek with a quarterback that season, and your career would have never unfolded the way that it did. Again, I don't think Dak's upset, but this is the game. I mean, and everybody has to play their way, and the front office just did their part.
Now, do you think when Dak called him to console him after Trey broke his ankle that he had any idea he'd end up on the Cowboys roster?
Probably not. But I mean, that's the way.
That's how Dak is, right? That's who he really is, right? So do you think, so do you think he's going to take on I got to handle my business, but I'll still take you under my wing and teach you all I can? Or will he take the approach of, dude, I'm not going to help you become my replacement?
I think I've said before that if you're a Cowboys fan, and Rudy, I know that's a battle you wrestle with internally.
I did, yes, big time.
But if you're a Cowboys fan, Dak Prescott is a dream of a player to root for. Like, he is that Disney dude who does the right thing and says the right thing and, looks epic when he's running out of the tunnel. Like, he checks all those boxes. And I do believe him to be that guy who will help Trey Lance in his development in the name of bettering the team. There was a lot of chatter floating around this past week about how Tony Romo did that with Dak Prescott. I'm not here to besmirch the name of Tony Romo that I love very much, but that was not the case.
No, it wasn't.
Romo did not do that.
No.
Mark Sanchez was the only dude helping Dak Prescott out when he was a rookie in 2016. And, I think on a human level, how can you blame Romo? I mean, it was a difficult thing to accept. And so I don't blame anyone for not doing that.
Yeah.
Again,
on an interesting sidebar, have you noticed on Hard Knocks how far they have gone to point out how giving Aaron Rodgers has been to young Zach? He's taking him under his wing. He's calling touchdown plays for him. He's coaching him up. He's doing all this stuff. I think there's been a concerted effort to kind of rehab Aaron Rodgers' reputation that he garnered with Jordan Love, although I'm not sure that was true back then with Love either. I don't know if he shut him down or didn't mentor him at all, but he's certainly been a mentor to Zach.
I buy that to be legitimate with Rodgers.
Oh, I do.
I think but I think I mentioned Phoebe from Friends and her sexy. She's also the subject of a great plot line in one episode of Friends where Joey tells her there's no selfless good deed, right? Like you can't do any good deed without some sense of selfishness, because at the very least you feel good about doing it. So there's selfishness associated with any good deed you want to do. I think there's some
It's a very existentialist view.
Right. And Aaron Rodgers is an existentialist kind of person. And I think, unfortunately for Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Rodgers Corp, what he's doing has been done before, right? Like the older Hall of Famer who finds a new team, who goes on to have success and even win the Super Bowl with them. Peyton Manning did it. Tom Brady did it. So you can do anything new, Aaron. How can you make this new? Well, you can have the success. You can win the Super Bowl, and you can train the young Padawan. And you can leave the organization. Because what has happened to the Broncos and the Patriots and now the Bucks since Peyton Manning and Tom Brady walked away? They've been in purgatory. But Aaron Rodgers can be known as the guy who came in and like think about how lame it was to call it. Well, think about how lame it was to call it Jet Life Stadium. Like that's the most like low hanging fruit comment of all time. Like Aaron Rodgers is like screaming JES. It's like, dude, quit being such a hardo. We get it. You want people to think you're into this right now. So I'm not saying it's disingenuous, but I am saying that there's a bit of selfishness.
One last question before we move on to the team itself. There was an opportunity cost to going and getting it, a 4th round pick. That 4th round pick could have been used if you had a 4th round pick to move. I mean, legit. And we didn't know we did until he made the deal. Wouldn't a 4th round pick been more appropriately used on something that could be usable right now, like maybe an offensive lineman?
Maybe. But I mean, the opportunity cost in this case isn't, tremendous. I would offer. And now, for what it's worth, the Cowboys don't have a 6th round pick next year. They've already traded that as well when they moved up to get Eric Scott Jr. So they're down those 2, but they're slated to get their usual run of compensatory picks, and that's where and how they feel safe, because they know we can burn these, get a couple down the road. We can always move around. We can always dance around, and we could pick that up. We could recoup, whatever the case may be. So. Yeah, I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's a day 3 pick. I know it sounds cool because it's a 4th round pick, but it's a day 3 pick. Like if you're not picking on Thursday or Friday night, nobody really cares at the end of the day.
I saw that the Ravens, it was for other reasons, but I saw the Ravens are holding 4 QBs. And Rob and I had an interesting back and forth, and Rob kind of wanted to hold 4 QBs. Nitpick the 53. Because the thing about you, RJ, you are a fan, but you give it to them straight. What would you nitpick about the final 53?
I think it's worth mentioning, and this still has to do with the Trey Lance trade. The new rule, it's a new old rule, but involving the 3rd quarterback on the team. So if you have a 3rd quarterback on your 53, he can technically be this ghost player that is a part of your 46-man active game day roster without counting against that.
Right.
And he can dress. And if you're in an emergency where your top 2 go down, you can have that dude go in. Ironically, that came as a result of Trey Lance's former team. So, I mean, I would challenge you to find a QB3 that you feel better about than Trey Lance. It would be very difficult. But to Rob's point, I mean, afford them. Well, I mean, Rob,
I'm just saying.
Thank you.
Always remember it, but I mean, let's be cool. It was the final night before everyone went to pledge. You know what I mean? It was whatever. Anyway,
wow.
But yeah. So I mean, I'm not opposed to hoarding them like Baltimore's doing. That's a little bit more unique. But as far as critiquing the 53, I wish they'd gone a little bit deeper at offensive line. Yeah, is that born out of fear? Definitely.
Yes.
Are they weirdly going about linebacker only keeping 3? Yes, but that's a little bit more common, it feels like. And, the day and age of your kind of classic off-ball linebacker is over. In fact, the Cowboys defense is really positionless. There's no, real D tackles, D ends. There are 2 groups that defenders fall in for the Cowboys. There's pass rushers and there's players who drop back. That's it. And Dan Quinn has so many athletes that he can utilize them in a number of different ways, as evidenced by the way he uses safeties in the box and things like that. I mean, I don't mean to be the Kool-Aid drinking, this really feels like the year Cowboys guy, but I have very few qualms with how they handled it. Would it have been cool if they had carried Isaiah Land and not seen him get poached by the Indianapolis Colts? Yeah, but
I was shocked that Land. I was shocked they let Land walk. I really was. That was like one of the first couple of things I talked about with a couple of buddies of mine.
The reality is, I mean, where's he getting snaps this year? And that sucks. If you're good at this, it should be hard. If you're good at this, you should agonize over that 53rd decision. And so it's quite possible Land was number 54. And sometimes, you know, you're just number 54. And I'm glad he has another opportunity, but it would have been great, obviously, had the Cowboys been able to get him back on the practice squad.
I know you talked just a little about the offensive line, and if there's one qualm that I have, it's that we know that they're going to get hurt, that two of these guys are going to miss games. It's just the numbers tell us, and it's been
negative.
that. Well, we have to at some point address the fact that your offensive line is going to be a point of pain, and they did not, at least to this point, address a depth issue other than through their draft. And I know they rely and are comfortable with their drafting alignment, but I'm not comfortable here. I do think that this is going to get them.
So I agree with you, and not that this is a defense, but that's sort of a problem across the entire NFL. You know what I mean? Like right now, the three of us, we're going to buy a house, and we're like, man, this is expensive. You know, like it's like this house is really expensive. It's like, yeah, dude, like welcome to the world. Now, if you are trying to give them credit, they did sign Chuma Edoga in free agency. They did draft Awesome Richards with a 4th-round pick. They did sign TJ Bass as an undrafted free agent. All of them made the team. I mean, so they did add by multiple avenues this offseason. Again, if you're really trying, last year I thought that they went about things really foolishly. I mean, they went about operating as if Tyron was never going to miss time. I do think that as a result of it, at least, they have to have a contingency plan in place, but it doesn't feel as foolish as it did a year ago. Again, I don't feel great about it, but I would also challenge you to find the team in the NFL that feels wonderful about their 8th or 9th offensive line.
Because of the chemistry Dak and Schultz had, and then now where we see the tight end money is gone, RJ.
Oh, man.
Do you think, I mean, maybe Schultz could have stuck around for 10 to 12? I mean, we're at 17 now. I mean, Dak loved him some Schultz. And I'm not saying that Ferg can't be the guy, RJ. I'm just saying, like, now where we see the numbers, Schultz wasn't too bad at 10 to 12.
Well, you said 10 to 12. He got 9 from the.
Oh, that's right.
So why are you going to pay him more than Houston?
You're right about that.
I mean, that's the reality, is that it is just, you know, people turn this into memes and things like running backs don't matter, whatever. Unless you are Travis Kelce, George Kittle, and that's really it. Like, I think we're all fascinated by Kyle Pitts. Darren Waller has had a moment in the sun.
He got paid
Jonnu
too.
Smith had a moment in the sun. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, unless you're one of those dudes, it's just not worth paying that position. And Dak has shown that he can make, I don't want to say anyone who plays it productive, but just about anything close to that. And so you don't have to waste that money. And again, let's not act like Dak and Dalton played a lot together. I mean, Dalton really took off in 2020 when Dak got hurt. I mean, they really kind of had just that 2021 season all the way through together. And that was what led to Dalton getting the tag that he played on last year.
Gotcha.
That's RJ Ochoa of Blogging the Boys. Make sure you're following him and checking Blogging the Boys on the daily. If you call yourself a Cowboys fan, you're probably already there. And Cowboys fans today are going through the loss of one of the architects, Gil Brandt, passing away yesterday. I think it hit a lot of people in a very unique way. He's kind of like grandpa.
I learned it from you, RJ. I had just in the break, I went onto your Instagram and I learned that from you. What did y'all write about Gil?
I mean, it's, you know, in situations like this, it's tough to really say anything. I mean, because his career kind of spoke for itself. If, you know, if anyone is, I would even offer under the age of 50, they might not be fully aware of Gil Brandt's contributions to the Cowboys brand. I mean, at the beginning, it was Tex Schramm, it was Tom Landry, and it was Gil Brandt. And they all innovated in their own special ways. Tom Landry, obviously, in the most visible on the field. Tex Schramm, literally in the most visible by way of television marketing and public relations. I mean, it's Tex Schramm's contributions that lead to the Cowboys being on Thanksgiving every year, playing on Thanksgiving. But Gil Brandt innovated in the scouting department. I mean, he was the first dude to be like, let's use computers, right? Like, let's let the computers kind of, process this information. And it led to the discovery of so many Hall of Fame players, Ring of Honor players, important contributors. I mean, he revolutionized the part of the reason the NFL draft is what it is today is because of Gil Brandt. And he helped identify that as this resource that needed to be completely and totally, dried up. You were interested in improving your football team. And so he truly is one of the most important and influential people in NFL history. He's rightfully in the Ring of Honor and the Hall of Fame. And, you know, I think he's an example of, I saw this conversation floating around yesterday, like, you know, I think we all have a bit of an internal peace that he was able to see himself go into the Hall of Fame. And unfortunately, it doesn't happen for everybody. And it brings up the Jimmy Johnson Ring of Honor stuff. Dude, time is so precious. Like, there's no reason to not let people like this, you know, enjoy their moment in the sun that they deserved. And hopefully Gil Brandt got to experience his.
This is more of an NFL question, but it involves the Cowboys, RJ. Rob and I discussed a little bit earlier the Forbes valuations. And is it time we get back, especially because of the NFL and how big they are and how much money they make, to where we just go back to no salary cap and then we're not even having to deal with these things? Or is it still a necessary evil in your eyes?
I mean, I'm always pro player, so I would love to see the players get, you know, everything that they possibly could. But I will say there's just zero way that the NFL ever allows that because their cap is a fraction of their overall net earnings in a given year. And the cap is a built-in excuse. Hey, man, we tried. We can't. I mean, you know, we're up against the salary cap. You know, it works some way. Nobody understands. We're over. We're under. You know, but we're going to be over. We had to leave money to sign our rookies or whatever the case may be. So there's no way they get rid of that. It protects them in a lot of different ways. The owners, that is, and this is an owners league, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, it's stupid, the evaluation. I always think about, I don't know if either of you saw that movie Concussion.
Yes.
There was a line in the trailer for that movie that I always think about. And it was when somebody's playing Will Smith's character, like to be careful challenging the NFL. And again, it was so powerful. They said, you're going up against somebody that owns a day of the week.
Yeah.
And that's who they
That
are.
is strong.
Like they really and totally, absolutely do. It's their world. I mean, it's crazy that they're more valued than some Premier League teams or La Liga teams. Like, they're not a worldwide league, yet they have worldwide fame and fortune.
That's
Well
RJ
said.
Ochoa
Well
of
said.
Blogging the Boys. We're about to close out the segment. Before we go, I want to, this news crossing board that we do have another shift in the college football land, that Stanford and Cal and SMU are joining the ACC.
Oh, really?
It appears that this phone
Who
meeting
did they get to vote?
There were 4 possible votes no. They had to carry 12 of the 15. They needed to flip one. Evidently, they did.
SMU too.
SMU, Cal, and Berkeley or Stanford are headed to the ACC.
Thoughts and prayers to Oregon State. Tough scene. Tough morning to be a Beaver. I mean,
tough morning to be a Beaver. Save that, Edwin.
That's really, I don't I don't live and die with some of the college football pageantry and traditions as much as a lot of people. My internal focus just has to exist on Sundays, obviously, throughout the fall. But I'm at the very least interested. I'm not saying I am a fan of this or I'm enjoying this, but we're at this point now where let's see it. Like I'm ready to say, like, let's see what this looks like. Let's see, Oregon travel to, Happy Valley on a Saturday night. Like let's get weird. Like at this point, I feel for the athletes. I feel for everybody involved. I can't believe, again, college football is this massively popular thing, but from a wealth standpoint, it's worth, again, a fraction of the NFL. But it's so difficult to explain this to people. It's like people hit you up in your daily lives, when y'all are out doing your own personal errands, going where you like to go, Rudy. We all know those places. And people are like, okay, so what's going on in college football? Why? Why did Oregon State get left out? It's the most difficult concept in the world to explain.
What are you going to do this last week before this, before you lock all the way in for these next 17 weeks? You got any plans with the family? Because these next 17 weeks, how it's going to be.
18 weeks for the regular season.
18, you're right, because of the bye.
More beyond that. At this point, just rest and recuperate and get healthy.
You sound like Mike McCarthy. You sound like Mike McCarthy. What just came home from camp?
Yeah, but it is, it's exciting. And truthfully, for me, I really enjoy the scheduled kind of action that my life becomes. It's so easy to kind of identify, this always happens on Mondays, this always happens on Thursdays, whatever. And it's fun having football back. I did not stay up for the Arizona State game last night. If either of you did, kudos, especially given what you do for a living. But it's fun having that, that option back in our lives. So I'm pumped about it.
He's RJ Ochoa.
My
Check
man.
his stuff at Blogging the Boys, following him on the X's and the Instas and everything else that you keep up with for the outside world. But all in all, get well, RJ. We can't wait to talk to you next week.
Before next week, y'all have a glass of chocolate milk.
Gig 'em.
That will be the first time in quite some time. RJ Ochoa. Hey, coming up, we did talk about it. We're going to dig deeper. It appears that the ACC is expanding to 18 teams.
Did you break news?
And there is a team in Texas headed to the SEC. Now, how they got there is worthy of discussion. The ACC grows, SMU goes. We're talking about it next. This is R&R, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Hey, gentlemen, ladies, I'm talking to you. Those grillers out there, we have reached the fourth of the four majors of your grilling holidays. Yes, it is the last summer holiday to prove your value as a griller, and Tri-County Meat Market has everything you need to up your grilling game. 20% off prime ribeyes and sirloin fajitas just to walk in the door right now at Tri-County Meat Market. And if that's not enough, how about 25% off everything that has to do with chicken fajitas, all the chicken wings and Texas toothpicks you want, the pork picks, and of course their beautiful baby back ribs. They are ready and waiting on you, and they're 25% off right now at Tri-County Meat Market. Look, you only get 4 opportunities to perform in the big game, and this is one of them. You better make sure you do your pregame prep by getting everything perfect out at Tri-County Meat Market. 20% off your ribeyes and fajitas. What are you waiting on? Now, while you're there, make sure you fill your bag with 5 for $25, because that's always in play. And if you're a first responder, take 10% off of all of that. Thank you for taking care of us. That's Tri-County Meat Market, 2 locations, Huebner, Ralph Fair. You know where they are. Go over there this weekend. Pile up on the specials. Impress somebody with some fine food and some good meat coming off the grill from Tri-County Meat Market. And I know you're going to be thanking me later.
If your family depends on your income and something happened to you, what would happen to them? You need life insurance, and SelectQuote can help you get it at a price you can afford.
SelectQuote found Jacob, 40, who's in excellent health, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for only $19 a month.
Not in perfect health? Don't worry.
SelectQuote found Tanya, 40, who has type 2 diabetes, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for only $32 a month.
We shop companies like Protective, Prudential, American General, and others to find you the company with the best rates. Give your family the security they need at a price you can afford.
For your free quote, call 1-800-885-5959. That's 1-800-885-5959. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-885-5959.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policies at selectquote.com/commercials. Your premium could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
It's raining in Austin. We're back on All-Star Sports Radio, celebrating their 30th year. Our sportsbook and casino sponsor, BetUS.com, is going big.
That's right, Austin. Sports bettors can win a new truck, get the industry's biggest 125% sign-up bonus, and even get up to 30 risk-free bets.
Touchdown. BetUS also has a 150% casino sign-up bonus.
Blackjack, now you're talking, Austin. They also have live dealers and live betting on sports, including racetrack.
Get started today at BetUS.com, where the game begins.
Here is a proverb for today from the Hebrew Scriptures. The one who has knowledge uses words with restraint, and whoever has understanding is even-tempered. How often does something go from bad to worse because someone doesn't stop talking? There's a story about the spiritual habits guru, Dallas Willard, where he was engaged in a conversation with someone who was beginning to get a little angry. This person said some unkind things to Dallas, who did not respond. Later, he was asked why, and he replied, "I am practicing the discipline of not having the last word." There is so much wisdom in learning how to not make things worse. How much of a bad moment, how many bridges burned, how much hurt is related to the last thing said? That last thing you can't unsay. The one who has knowledge uses words with restraint, and whoever has understanding is even-tempered. It's okay not to have the last word, and it might make reconciliation not necessary. This is Mark Absher with the MacArthur Park Church of Christ. Visit our church online at macarthurchurch.org. The MacArthur Park Church of Christ, connecting God and people.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
nachos. Yeah, your nachos.
Hey, I'll take some.
Great. And some Frank's Red Hot.
Oh, nah, I'm good.
Oh, you're just going to eat these dry, plain, boring nachos with no Franks. Seriously? Frank it up. Frank it up. Come on, lady. Frank it up. Frank it up. Frank it up. Yeah! Yeah, this guy finally gets it. Hey, look, we're on the Jumbotron.
It's the perfect blend of flavor and heat. Frank's Red Hot. I put that on everything.
Hello, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney and owner of the Thompson Law Firm right here in San Antonio. In the short amount of time I have to talk to you, I want you to remember two things. First, if you or a family member is injured in an auto collision, remember, you need to call an attorney as soon as you can after the collision. I don't have enough time to tell you the many, many reasons why, but trust me, the earlier you contact an attorney, the better. Second, when you call is as important as who you call. I want you to call me, Jason Thompson, at 210-900-0400. I've been representing people injured in motor vehicle and trucking collisions for 28 years. Each placed their trust in me to do everything it takes to obtain a just and fair recovery and to get honest, trustworthy legal advice. You can trust me to do the same for you. If you or a family member has been injured in an auto collision, call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 210-900-0400 or at my website, alawyerforus.com.
Hey, Cowboys fans, want to kick off tailgate season with the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, Rowdy, and a Dallas Cowboys legend? Stop by the HEB located at 850 FM 1103 in Cibolo from 9 a.m. to 12 noon on Sunday, September 24th. You'll even have a chance to enter to win tickets to an upcoming Dallas Cowboys home game, as well as tour the Hall of Fame bus and more. Don't miss out as we roll into town for the Dallas Cowboys tailgate tour presented by HEB.
Ron had a tax problem he just couldn't handle on his own.
I owed the IRS taxes for over 5 years, but I didn't have any money to pay the taxes.
Those years cost him dearly.
Most of it was fees and interest. It was horrible.
Ron finally called in the pros.
I called Optima Tax Relief, and boy, am I happy I did.
The leading tax resolution firm, Optima, is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. They've resolved over $1 billion for their clients. Ron was overjoyed.
They settled my account with IRS. I was ecstatic. They are a lifesaver. They are. I am so happy.
Take Ron's advice and call Optima now for a free consultation.
Yeah, don't do like I did and wait. Call Optima Tax Relief. Do it now. You'll be ecstatic like me.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
Touchdown Vegas. What a wild finish.
Your home for the NFL. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Breaking news, the ACC has sent out the invite to Stanford, Cal, and SMU. Can't come to the wedding, but you can come to the reception. Gil Brandt passed away at 91 years old, Cowboys legend, 20 straight winning seasons, 5 Super Bowl appearances, and 2 titles with under Brandt. And the Rangers return to action versus the Twins tonight at 7 over on ESPN 1250.
Sports Center is brought to you by BraintreeNutrition.com. Better sleep, more focus. BraintreeNutrition.com.
It's 0600. What's the O stand for? Oh my God, it's early.
Wake me up, wake me up, wake up, wake up, wake me up. So wake me up, wake up.
Rob Thompson.
Ginobili the other way in transition to the back with a left hand slam. I want some nasty.
Rudy J.
Cowboys win. How else would you settle this game?
We begin each day as if it were on purpose.
I wake up in the morning, I kiss excellent.
R&R in the morning on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, good morning.
It's R&R in the morning, a big old Friday edition. He's Rudy, I'm Rob. We're glad you're with us. We got 2 hours of fun headed your direction. And in these hours, we will include RJ Ochoa blogging the boys and the voice of the Fighting Texas Aggies. Our good friend and cohort Andrew Monaco will be here in just a little over an hour to look forward to the New Mexico arrival in College Station.
Yes. Y'all hear that pep in his step?
Ready to go, baby.
That's the sound of somebody that doesn't return to this building until Wednesday.
That's right.
Rob has a birthday next Tuesday, so y'all wish him a happy birthday today on the YouTubers and the tweets because he won't be back until after he is 35.
Well, you're turning 35 and celebrating appropriately this weekend. But yeah,
what are you gonna do, man? I mean, have y'all made the dinner
Well,
plans?
see, my
What are you
wife's
doing?
birthday is tomorrow.
Oh, damn. So yours don't even matter.
Yeah. So, well, really, my birthday is predicated on how good I do her birthday.
Got you.
See,
It makes sense.
So if I do hers great, mine's always good.
That sounds like a vet.
If I stumble into it, my birthday's just a myth.
Okay, so you're an Amazon guy. Please tell me you've ordered something.
I have not, to be quite frank,
God.
but we have an idea that we're getting something for each of us.
Okay.
It involves
And then you're gonna watch your Fighting Texas A&M Aggies from a nice little seat, got some little shade. So see, this is how much of a vet Rob is, and I'm sure plenty of Aggies are. He got his seats on the shade side.
Oh man. Well, the student section is the sun side.
Of course, that's where they belong.
And they got to, man, we all suffered, and they stand in that heat, and it's going to be awful on Saturday night. That's one of those things. New Mexico has no idea how bad.
Right.
Well, they've been here before, but yeah, going to be a good weekend of football. There had been a little bit of discussion over the last month about the last of the Pac-12s, what was going to happen. It looked like the ACC had effectively shut it down, or at least 4 of the schools in the ACC had shut down negotiations with the remaining Pac-12ers. The big schools, Clemson, Florida State, North Carolina State, North Carolina, were the 4 that were kind of anti.
Right.
And
I wonder who they flipped, Rob. Who did they flip?
Well, I wonder, because we asked, Rudy and I were talking about this morning. Who do you think that those 4 schools who are desperate to get in, which one do you go to try to flip?
Right. Well, the thing is, when you broke down to me, them how much less money they're taking, I think all 4. Yeah. Like, okay, y'all agree to take a significant less amount than what we share? Come on over.
This, according to Sports Illustrated, it appears that, first of all, with them joining by the contract that has been negotiated with the ACC and ESPN, it will add about $70 million to the value of the contract, the money that's coming back to the ACC.
Well, that's worth a lot then.
Yes, that in combination with the 3 teams offering to come in, and we don't have the numbers specifically, but they have all said that they are willing to come in at drastically reduced revenue share. So they're not going to come in as 1/18th partners in this. They're going to come in at a smaller revenue bit and kind of fill in with their own endowment and all money that they make just for being in the ACC outside of TV or broadcast revenue to kind of make it equal up. And this is a move that only the wealthier schools can make. This isn't a school that a lot of schools.
SMU and Stanford got money. Well, Cal too.
Yeah, they all got a little bit of money in the bank. So if you were just a regular school and you were going to jump into the waters with the ACC, knowing full well for the next 8 years, you're going to get a smaller cut of the money.
Wow. It says SMU is expected to come in for 9 years with no broadcast media revenue. Sources told ESPN both Cal and Stanford were expected to receive 30% of the shares. So SMU is so desperate.
And so wealthy.
They do got money. They're not even going to take any of the TV money. They're just like, all right, just let us come over there and be a part of this.
They understand.
How do you feel about that?
Well, they understand that if you don't get on this train, it's leaving the station and there's no getting on the next stop. It ain't stopping again. This is it.
And 9 years, and I know this sounds crazy, but 9 years goes kind of fast. So you think about that 10th year, Rob, when, hey, we've paid our dues. We came in, we didn't ask for any money. So when the 10th year, when y'all get ready to renew the deal, you let us in. It's almost kind of like an internship.
9 years is a lifetime. What are you talking about?
Not to me, because these deals get redone before they're done.
Not these. I thought maybe
they don't go up to the last minute on these TV deals.
They go full extension.
Yeah. Well, especially now because of the way that they're jumping around.
This ain't changing. You're in the hole for 9 years.
But I understand SMU's thought process. Like, look, at some point, we're not going away after 9 years. So 100 years from now, look back at it as a good move.
I think SMU in particular.
I'm just talking about SMU.
Well, the reason I think SMU is so significant in this is because no school in the country understands more than SMU what it's like to lose the program,
right,
and to lose what that program means to the university, and more importantly, that's what the lack of football. They were still playing football games, and they brought it back on home. But the notoriety that SMU achieved, whether it was positive or negative, they lost. They lost it for 30 years. So I think they're more than happy. 10 more years? Hell, we've been in a hole for 30. What's 10 more? We've been wandering the desert. since the early 90s. So what's 10 more? But Cal and Stanford, they know what SMU knows through experience. If you don't get on this train, and you got the last 3 seats,
which is I guess it's smart. I don't see why not. So that's be about 16. Let's say they get it to 55 million, because adding them, they're saying is going to go take them from 50 to 60 million. So let's just land in the middle just for talking point's sake. For Stanford and Cal, that's going to be about 16.5 million. Now that 50 to 60 is going to be divided up between 14 members and Notre Dame.
Yes.
Now see,
because they
got I'm like, okay. Now to me, Rob, I know they're on that side basketball wise. To me, the ACC, I'm like, y'all are. I'd feel a way about sending that check to Notre Dame. Like, so to me, Notre Dame's
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Notre Dame's kind of double dipping. Not kind of. Well, they are double dipping.
And before it mattered having Notre Dame as part of the conference. That when they made the deal, it makes sense.
Mattered.
Now,
you don't think it matters now?
Now, I don't. They don't need Notre Dame. They needed them before.
But if you lose Notre Dame, that 50 to 60 goes down.
We're not talking about Notre Dame football.
We're talking about basketball.
All we're talking about is Notre Dame basketball. But when they made the deal, you're kind of like, well, we understand why you went and got them, because it might be the precursor to them eventually coming.
Right.
Well, now that deal's why you're not holding out. You've got 18 teams. You're not going to be a 19th. Notre Dame ain't coming to the ACC. I think that door is now closed.
It would be the Big Ten.
If the ACC could get out of any kind of deal with Notre Dame, I think they would happily do it today. Now, 3 days ago, it made some sense.
Right.
Today, not so much.
Now, did this lose just for my entertainment purposes, just for my own selfish reasons, is the opportunity of Clemson, Miami, Florida State moving to the SEC gone with this move?
No.
You sure?
Because
I just wanted that from my entertainment. I don't even know if it makes sense. I just wanted that to happen for me.
There is an interesting provision of the ACC's membership. It's called it's this grant of rights deal that's unique in this conference, that's different from any other conference that I've dealt with. I don't quite understand the formatics of what is binding the ACC together, but there is an agreement amongst them that is a little bit of a stronger bond than the rest of the conferences have. It was something that's been around for a bit. They're calling it grant of rights.
That. Right. Grant
so
of rights.
I think that has been one of the reasons why Florida State and Clemson are still there, because the buyout to leave the ACC is remarkably high and difficult to get over. Now with the addition of these 3 teams, it could go one of 2 ways. They could have now the cell door is officially locked and we're done at 18, or it could allow for maybe the Clemson and Florida State, the 2 schools that have been eyeing the SEC more than an opportunity to leave.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this, Rob, and it brought up on the YouTube, I could see as it adds to the conversation, and I thought this too, and I was going to ask you this. Why does your Mark in the gang not want SMU? They want Houston. You want Houston. Like, why don't,
I'm not sure
why
they didn't.
Because, I think it's a great question. Why are they just sitting there? Like, you bring in Houston, you bring in Cincinnati, you bring in BYU, you bring in Central Florida, and SMU is just standing there like, hey, you're going to pick me? Like,
there is TCU on the other side in Fort Worth that's more than happy that SMU
are they trying to be
there.
Loyal to TCU?
Well, I think there's something to you know what? I don't know the inner workings of that.
Yeah. I think it's a good question, but I can't answer it.
Because I'm not inside the building at SMU. I know what my opinion is of SMU as a former Big 12er.
Yeah, and see the ACC, and you kind of brought me onto the light of this. They don't see SMU as a way to get Texas televisions, do they? Because
absolutely they do.
But Rob, to be honest, and be totally honest with me, give me the last 3 times that you sat and watched an SMU game.
Here's the good news. Now, Dabo Sweeney can wake up today and book a flight to Dallas and walk into Duncanville High School and legitimately tell mama, guess what? Your son is now in the ACC. You're going to be able to watch him when he goes to Clemson on TV on their own network here in Dallas. It opened a portal to the SEC football world ACC football world that Dabo Sweeney could only dream of. Now, Florida State's pulled out of Dallas before.
Of course.
And
I mean,
Clemson
all
might
of them have. All of them have.
Clemson is not a school that when you think of Texas talent,
No.
they ain't going to Clemson. The Dallas talent is not going to Clemson. They're going to schools in the ACC most likely, but Dabo really hasn't gotten a foothold in. Well, now that these SEC schools like Florida State and can say, and Miami now too, can walk into Dallas and say, guess what? You come to Miami, you're on TV here. It ain't like you're searching for an ACC game. They're here now. It is a tremendous benefit.
Okay, got
they got an in into Texas. So yeah, if I'm those coaches and I see SMU and they're coming in for free and I get to come there every other year and play in Dallas.
He said for free. On top of that, FREE. If it's free, give me 3.
So Dabo and all those guys get a Dallas game at Jerry World every other third year.
So what's left over there? Is it Washington State and Oregon State still homeless?
Yeah, they're homeless.
Or is they just there by themselves after this year, right?
They're Pac-12 now.
Somebody's going to take them.
Here's
Mountain
the good
West.
news.
They got to go to the Mountain West.
No, I will tell you this. And reading the land, and I say this a lot because I believe it. When there is blood on the streets, buy the land around it because it's never going to be cheaper than it is right now. I think the Pac-12 will rise again. I think the Pac-12 is going to rebuild with all of those California schools that you see playing in the first round of the
Fresno
college.
State, San Diego State.
All the states, Irvine, Fresno, up and down the coast, name them. From San Diego State all the way up to Northern California, name the school up there. They're going to rebuild and become a truly West Coast conference. And in about 5 years, they're going to start keeping the talent in the state, and they'll be back.
I don't believe that.
I'm not going that far. I think there will be a Power 5A.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
You know
that sounds better to me.
I think that they will be as good as Conference USA ever was, where they'll put a team like Cincinnati into the fight every now and again. The Pac-12 is going to rebuild.
And I hate to keep harping on this, but Pac-12, remember when Texas and OU came to your door with that driveway cleaner and they said they just wanted to show you a little sample? And you said, no, I don't want it. And I was like, just give me a couple seconds. I can show you how this product can change your life. And you slam the door in their face, Pac-12.
As much as Brett Yormark will have books written about how he took the conference and applied mass marketing music ideas and the way you promote entertainment to football, which has already been, that's nothing new. But the way Yormark attacked it will be a book of absolute success. He saw the trend coming. He jumped in and did a remarkable job of growing it.
Got ahead of it. Utah, Colorado got the Arizonas. Did a great job.
You look back on what the Pac-12 was, where they come from. Keep in mind, the last TV deal the Pac-12 signed was the biggest in history. Bigger than the SEC had, yeah. Bigger than the Big 12, bigger than the Big 10. The Pac-12 led the way, and within 5 years, cracked apart.
Now, can you come back? Can you come onto this side and get ready for 2024? I mean, how much more do you need, Rob? 2023 is the most meaningless college football season ever.
Well, it's kind of like telling the Spurs that the 99 title didn't count.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. What are you talking about? Yes, it's a year of transition, but at the end of the year, somebody's going to be holding up a trophy.
Okay.
And that name will be on the list that will forever last.
Right.
You
are excited. You got your maroon on. It's not September 1st, 2023. September 1st, 2024, you're going to do the show standing up, pacing around this room. You got Texas on your schedule next year.
But I'll tell you.
Are you kidding me?
Once the larger playoff gets into play,
it won't matter.
It's not as important.
Every week don't matter like it does now.
So this is really one of your last
opportunities. You know what?
opportunities.
That's the strongest point.
That's what I tried to
I got you.
Tell Texas fan. This
year
there's
to
an
get in the
opportunity in front of you guys. Don't look at SEC next year. Awful. Next year's awful, man. You're going up in a weight class. This year, clean house, man. Go knock it out because it's going to be 3 years before you're back in a situation where you can legitimately look down the schedule and go, I'm comfortable with every freaking game. That won't happen for the next couple of years.
I'm glad you brought that up because just finishing that untold with Florida, and you're right about the importance of every week. After Florida lost to Ole Miss, they had one loss and they're in the locker room crying because they thought they lost their opportunity to win the national title. Whereas now, Rob, you might be able, depending on who you are in your SOS strength of schedule, you might be able to sneak in the playoff with 3.
Yes.
With 3 losses.
So things are going to get easier and harder at the same time. But Texas fan, gather ye rosebuds, baby. Go get it now because time is fleeting. It's going to be awful the next couple years. Trust me. I know.
Yeah.
And we're about to start whooping your ass on a regular, too. Take that home with you.
Absolutely. Ewald Kubota is ready to move some tractors with great deals and discounts on the Kubota 40 and under 40 horsepower tractors with $1,500 off the L3902. That's 39 horsepower compact tractor. On that 26 horsepower LX, you get $1,000 off, 0 down, and of course, the 0% on 84 months. They have fantastic deals on all kinds of implements for under 40 horsepowers, like your grapples, your post diggers. If you need to dig up some trees, you need to get yourself that Intimidator. It's an amazing, amazing product. And this is a good time to service your mowers if you need to upgrade. Ewald Kubota has all type of Kubota zero-turn mowers, and they have those stand-ons as well. Make Ewald Kubota your one-stop shop for equipment sales, parts, rental, and service. And when you need someone you can rely on to help with your purchase or rental and are looking for outstanding customer service, the guys and gals at Ewald Kubota are committed to serving you. That is right. From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas for 75 years, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
Did you watch any of the Minnesota, Nebraska? Well, some of you were forced to.
Well,
a lot of people were forced to watch Minnesota,
we
Nebraska.
started WhatsApping about it. I mean, it was 13-10, but a good game. But Mark Rule starts with an L.
Yeah.
I almost forgot that he was over there, Rob. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Nebraska is bereft of talent.
You know,
there's nothing
ain't it
there.
weird? Ain't it weird? Because again, I come from the era where Nebraska was a powerhouse, and if they were on TV, you watched the helmet, that red jersey, like they had the QB, they had a running back, like it was always a thing when you would watch Nebraska football. Now I'm like, oh, Nebraska's on. Let me see what for a little bit. Then I changed it after 15, 20 minutes. But last night I had no choice.
I know
most
that,
people.
I mean, he did great things at Baylor. He might have been obviously he was a little overmatched in the pros, but at Baylor. But Baylor, when he arrived,
oh my gosh,
was it kind of like Nebraska, right?
Well, to see, they were coming off of Art Browse.
All the scandal, and they lost a lot. So he
rebuilt that from nothing.
But there's something about this Nebraska program that while Baylor felt like they were on life support when he got there because the scandal, it was recent. They hadn't been in a hospital for a month. They'd been sick for a week, and Rule turned them on a dime, and they got back quick.
See, the thing about it, Rob, to live in Nebraska, you have to already be good if you want a kid to go live in Nebraska. Like you can talk a kid into going to Michigan because they're good. You watch them, they got Jordan there in the playoff. Like, okay, I'll go sit in 10-degree weather for Michigan. I ain't going to sit in 10-degree weather for a team that can barely win 5-6 games. I'm just not going to do it. I'd rather play at Baylor.
Right. And so I think that the difficulty that Rule's going to face is so much deeper than he did at Baylor because that program is dead. Nebraska is
dead.
This
is a team and this is a university that has 5 natties.
Yes.
They have 5 natties and they are dead.
And they're skinny-legged guys running around. You can tell these are not high D1 football players. They don't look like it.
You don't think Rule can get this? Because, I mean, he's a defensive guy. You don't think he can get this to the point where they're at least like when I say get them back, Rob, I would take 8-4.
Oh,
you don't think
that's
what I'm saying? Like, you don't think he could get them to that point?
He's years away from that, man.
Remember we said Scott Frost in over his head. No, it's just he wasn't getting the dogs.
They can't get the guys to go to Lincoln, Nebraska.
I mean, would you?
The last night, while it was a great football game, just showed how long and how far Matt Rule has to go because Minnesota, nice late game comeback. Hey, we got a lot to talk about in the NFL. If you're just joining us, the ACC just grew by 3. RJ Ochoa is just around the corner, and we have Andrew Monaco joining us. So your assignment is to stay where you are. We'll be right back. This is R&R, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I have one book. I've been with this book for years. I've been talking about BetUS for years over the last couple of days. The reason I've stayed with them is the reason you should join. Because, one, they took care of me from the very beginning. They welcomed me in. How they welcomed me? Well, they gave me a bonus. Not like this. If you go sign up today, if you'll call 1-800-MY-BET-US or go to betus.com, and you go ahead and transfer your money in today, up to 125% in your transfer bonuses. If you're bringing crypto over, 200%. If you like casino games like I do, there's a 250% bonus is there. That's free money for you to go play. Now, when I joined, there was no such thing as Bet Protect. I'd never heard of such thing. Now your first 30 bets are covered by Bet Protect. It's kind of like a little bit of insurance. Go to betus.com for all the details, but trust me, not only are they giving you free money to play with, they're protecting those bets as well. You're not going to find a better deal, and you're not going to go to a more reliable book than BetUS. I've been going to them for years because they pay on time, on target. I have never once, not once, had a single issue. What else do you need to know? 1-800-MY-BETUS is the number. You can call them, they'll type, you talk, or you can go do it yourself at betus.com. But either way, take advantage of their 30th anniversary offer. Yeah, did you hear that? 30 years of business. That longevity proves honesty. Up to 30 risk-free bets. Get Bet Protect today. Dial 1-800-MY-BETUS, 1-800-MY-BETUS, or go to betus.com. It's where the game begins.
The law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, presents
94.1 San Antonio's Fall Golf Classic, Monday, October 2nd at Olympia Hills Golf Club. Get your slot now for $120 per person or $400 per foursome. Plus, a hole-in-one shot for your chance at $50,000 or a $1,000 gift card. 94.1 San Antonio's Fall Golf Classic, benefiting the Lupus Foundation of America Lone Star Chapter. Presented by the Law Office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, Flight by Yingling, Twin Peaks, Renewal by Anderson, Meritage Homes, and Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. Sign up now at sasportstar.com.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
Ever find yourself in a department store with a question, but you can't find anyone who actually works there, so you just wonder? That's what it feels like when you call most banks. But at Frost, we have live customer service 24/7, so you can speak to a real human right when you call, every time you call. No phone tree. No bots, just help from a real human when you need it. It's about being there for you. It's about more than money. Frost Bank.
Are you enrolled in Medicaid or a program like CHIP? Many people in San Antonio are at risk of losing their coverage. Access to affordable, quality health care is important to physical and mental health. Metro Health reminds you to update your information with Texas Health and Human Services. Look for a yellow envelope in the mail that says Action Required from Texas Health and Human Services. For assistance with your Medicaid renewal, call Enroll SA at 210-977-7997 or log into your Texas Benefits account and renew today.
Hello, I am Jason Thompson, a lawyer for us. Since 1994, I have helped people injured in car, truck, and motorcycle collisions right here in San Antonio. I don't have a clever nickname. I'm not the law lion, the law gun, the hammer, or some other tool. I'm a practicing attorney. When your life is upended literally by a negligent driver, it can be overwhelming. Dealing with insurance companies is, in my opinion, intentionally complicated and frustrating. Why? The fewer dollars the insurance companies pay, the more they get to keep for themselves. You need an experienced attorney to help you make the best decisions for yourself and your family. And that's what I do. That is who I am. Jason Thompson, a lawyer for us. I'm a phone call away, 210-900-0400. The call and the consultation are free with no obligations. My number again is 210-900-0400, or just remember, alawyer4us.com.
Like any good agent, we're here for the open house, for the closing, for handing over keys. But because we're realtors, we're here for so much more. Agents who are realtors volunteer at nearly 3 times the national average. We're working to broaden access to credit, increase affordable housing supply, and ensure fair housing for all. And realtors are bound by a code of ethics. We're here for it all. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Cookie wants to be a professional wrestler.
I'm Cookie Serratos, and I'm 11 years old.
She also wants to win all the medals. That's why Cookie and her family make every day count, squeezing out her best with Go-Go Squeeze.
Okay, Cookie, let's break for a Go-Go Squeeze.
Go-Go Squeeze Fruit on the Go pouches are a nutritious snack made from 100% fruit with no sugar added.
Go, Cookie!
Because when you nurture your kids, you squeeze out the best in them. Squeeze out the best with Go-Go Squeeze. Not a low-calorie food. Products range from 11 to 13 grams of sugar and 60 to 70 calories per serving.
It's the Awesome Tickets Pro Football Pick'em Challenge on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Your shot at $50,000 nationally, while weekly winners locally get a $50 gift card to Five Oaks Ace Hardware on Thousand Oaks. At the end of the season, locally, the best overall record wins the San Antonio Grand Prize of $1,000 worth of tickets to any event from Awesome Tickets. Sign up today at sasportstar.com. R&R in the morning on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning to you.
Top of the morning to all.
It's R&R in the morning, a getaway Friday edition. Hopefully you have some fine plans for what will be for most a 3-day weekend. Headed to the sand and sun, maybe heading to the mountain air, maybe staying at home, maybe in front of a TV watching all the college football you can devour on the first full weekend of games.
It's so my anniversary is Tuesday.
Oh,
and then my wife's birthday is Thursday. So
wow.
Probably do some celebrating this weekend. Not much, because again, at our age, doing nothing is doing something.
It is
you know what I mean?
It is more valuable now than it has ever been. The Cowboys are a little over a week away. They got the Giants coming up in
prime time, baby.
Prime time. Dak Prescott was not the news. He was a recipient of the news this week. He was a sounding board, a wall for which the news would bounce off. I mean, he didn't make the news for anything he did. He made the news for things that weren't done.
Right.
He didn't get a call, and his backup or heir apparent was brought into the building. And, you can look at that a lot of different ways. Well, the one narrative is how dare Jerry, how dare him not call his franchise quarterback.
Not let him know.
And let him at the very least know that I'm affecting your team. But even more so, I'm affecting your team by bringing in a guy in your room that everybody's going to call your replacement. And I'm bringing him in right on the cusp of us negotiating the biggest deal I have ever made with any Dallas Cowboy. And that's what it'll be. It'll be the largest contract Jerry has ever signed with anybody when Dak signs it.
For sure.
So right before I do that, and we start really discussing the vast amount of money I'm about to pay you, I'm bringing in your replacement. And that's the week before the season begins.
When we just talked to RJ, I was shocked at how nonchalant he was about it, only because RJ was the one that brought it to everyone's attention that if they didn't get this deal redone by now, that they have that wiggle room. Yes, there's going to be some dead money. They got that wiggle room to get out of Dak's deal. So I thought the timing of it was head scratching,
to say the least. And then there were some things that Jerry said. Well, Dak was interviewed by Jory Epstein. And, he'll tell you how he felt about the move.
Yeah, I think they read a little too much into it. As I've said before, and I made it known that understand that's the front office and they have a job to do. And I believe in everything that they're doing, whether it's additions or trades to this team, they're doing it for the betterment of the whole team. So I'm just excited to, as we have, welcome Trey and just continue to make our room better, make our offense better and our team better. And I know he's going to do everything he can to do that.
Such a professional.
Or
such a professional.
Such a robot. You could put it that way, too.
I mean, that's a part of being a professional. You know, a part of being a professional is you got to have the robot mode.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I don't know if I would have took it like Dak did. He took it on the chin and said, Trey can make this team better. How can the third string quarterback make that? And I don't look, I know George is happy to get the deal. I mean, she's very talented, but what I'm saying is that question has to be asked. The only way he can make the team better, Dak, is if he gets onto the field. You don't want that. So what do you mean he can make the team better? How does the third string quarterback make the team better? Is it because he's running scout? He's going to play Jalen Hurts in practice? Is that what it is? Because how does the third string quarterback make the team better unless he gets on the field and produces? So when you throw that out there, Dak, I know you've clicked on robot mode because that doesn't make any sense.
Lance isn't picking up a blitz for you.
That's right. He's not gonna, he's not rushing for 1,200 yards like Tony Pollard. So explain to me what you mean, how he can make the team better, Dak. That maybe should have been a follow-up, but I say Jory working. She's like trying to get in as many questions they can.
So this is, and honestly, I think we do need to take stock in the fact that it's times like these that we should step back. And even if you're a Dak hater, even if you are, you have to appreciate with the aplomb that he went through this week with.
A plum?
Well,
Hold
I mean,
on. What
he was. It was just another day in his world. He could have easily gone Aaron Rodgers, and we could have had a picture of him batting his eyes another way. Just something where he was being passive aggressive, pissed.
I don't think anybody would have been upset if he would have professionally said, like, only Dak can. I did think that we had some holes here and there that we could have filled, but I leave those things to the organization.
He didn't even do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That would have let me know all I needed to know. Because there is no way, again, and this is why he's the consummate professional, there's no way he's okay with this or happy about this. No quarterback would be. And I don't think Dak should be held to any different standard than anybody else. Like, why would you be okay with this?
Only he and Kirk Cousins, who we compare each other to, would be like, oh, we're happy he's here.
Or have you accepted the fact of what you are?
Well, I think, accepted or resigned. Maybe resigned would be
resigned is a better word.
But
they're trying to take reads from you. They want you throwing less picks. Maybe you've resigned, as you said, Rob, to what I am. And when you resign to what you are, maybe you're not, hey, yeah, of course they brought in another quarterback. Like, perfect example. I remember who we were talking to. They brought up Ryan Tannehill. Like, Tannehill don't care. Like, they drafted Malik.
Every year.
They drafted Will Levis, and Ryan's like, yeah,
bring it.
I get it.
I'll beat him out too.
We
at the least, we don't even expect to ask Dak that. Well, you know what? You have to beat him out too.
Right. That's not an issue.
Here, we apologize for bringing in competition. We're so sorry.
Yeah.
We brought somebody in that might actually push you. So if you make a mistake, we understand that it's probably your fault,
right,
or our fault. The idea that, there's only how many NFL players? 1,000 players,
whatever.
They all talk to each other, one way or another. They got their own WhatsApp lists. Do you believe maybe that there is a WhatsApp group of only starting quarterbacks in the NFL that they can call just amongst the 32 of themselves? They could bitch amongst themselves.
So, now, I think there's 31. I don't think they let Aaron in. There's 31. Nobody wants Aaron in the group chat.
Well, because we have our own little private
we have our own
radio host group chat. I'd like to think that there's 15 or 16.
Well, you told me you got a little program director one that I'm kind of jealous of.
There is. I mean, there are these little secret groups where we
little Illuminati radio groups.
So there's kind of that you just maybe, but we did come to find out that while it might not have been a WhatsApp conversation, Dak has indeed spoken to Lance previously about a shared experience.
Yeah, obviously just have going through something like that myself. I just wanted to reach out, share my support. Met with him before, I guess you could say, when he was coming out of the draft process. So we're all family in this league, and nobody wants to see anybody get hurt. But having dealt with the same thing, just wanted to let him know I was there for him. Any questions or anything that he had, felt free.
It reminds me of a picture, because this picture, there's this, and of course they're no longer together right now, but there's a picture of A-Rod. Who was it at the time? Oh, Mark Anthony and J-Lo. And at the bottom of the picture, it says, it's always the ones they tell you not to worry about. You know what I'm saying? Because this is after the fact, like, she left Mark Anthony, she ends up with Alex Rodriguez. And this reminds me of that, like, dude, I ain't worried about Trey Lance. He's way in San Francisco. Let me call him and reach out to him.
You good?
Hey, man, this is what you got to do. This is what you got to do mentally. This is what you got to do physically. Only to see this man show up at your practice facility and say, hey, man, can you help me take your job? Literally, that's what Lance has done. Like, hey, man, so what am I supposed to do when we're in this? And because I'm in installment 1, when we're here, I would look at
What, do you teach him wrong?
Yes. Yes. Yes, Rob, this is big boy football, Rob. This is $200 million on the line,
See,
bro.
this hurts my heart. We've done this. We've talked about this before. I just can't imagine not at least being helpful.
Right.
I just can't imagine. I don't care. And you know that there's been hundreds, thousands of instances where guys have come in and the guy in front of them sabotaged to the detriment of the team.
Right.
Just
I'm not gonna say. Look, Rob. I'm not gonna sabotage him, but I might be busy every time you ask me something. Like, oh man, I got Jory Epstein. I got to sit down, and then I got to get some treatment. But let me get back to you.
Have your people call my people?
Yeah, it would be a whole bunch of let me get back to you. No, I'm not helping Trey Lance.
But we blow up Russell Wilson for having him. Your people need to call my people. I don't have time to.
No, now I'm not. Now I should never have to call a teammate's manager. To get a hold of you. Unless you're trying to take my job. Now, we're like, if I'm on the defensive line, why do I got to call Russell Wilson's manager to let him know, hey, man, you know what I mean? Like, we all going out for, we all going to have brunch. We'll have a team brunch later. Like, and I got to go through your manager. That's next level douche. But help Trey Lance when I know low key he could be my replacement. That's like, again, if Dak was 42, 40, hell, 38, I get it. Dak ain't even really in a quarterback years. He's not even in his prime. Like, sometimes it takes quarterbacks 10 years to where the game actually slows down and you fully understand everything. So, no, I'm not helping Trey Lance. And I wouldn't blame him if he didn't want to.
Called him and ended up going to be working with him. You think he had any idea? No.
No, he didn't know. Yeah, I don't think so. But that's Dak. And you know what? Dak is going to help him be better. Because that's how Dak is wired.
On the other side of that, Trey Lance is coming from a pretty turbulent situation himself. You know what I mean? He's coming to San Francisco. He was the butt of every joke. He was everybody watching to see what he looked like coming to practice,
right?
Eyeballing every throw. So he's coming from a situation where he gets a little bit of room to breathe here.
That's very true.
I mean, at least in the next week. You know what I mean? At least in the next couple of weeks after this thing dies down, I equate it to the vice president. A lot of discussion about
downtime because it's a lot of this is all we're talking about.
We're not even going to see him in uniform. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's going to go away and learn the system, and he'll arrive when from here on out the Cowboys will maintain and be able to control the narrative. But right now he's in the middle of it, and he could make it so much worse. If Trey Lance didn't want to be here, landed where he knew that he wasn't taking Dak's job, so here I am, and I just got moved, he could stir the pot. I mean, he could have made it a whole lot worse, or he could have come in and been like you. I'm here to take Dak's job. What are you talking about?
Now, I'm going to say this, Rob. Now, this year's training camp was really, really subdued, and we're kind of all looking around, and we're talking to the TV guys and radio guys and everybody, the print guys, and we're like, damn, it's pretty low-key training camp. Next year's training camp is going to be everything this one wasn't, because again, this year when Dak throws 3 interceptions in training camp, nobody gives a damn because it's Cooper Rush and Will Grier. Now you fast forward to Oxnard next year, and Dak throws 3 picks, and Trey is connecting all the dots. Oh boy. I ain't gonna lie. I don't even like. Yes, I do. I enjoy covering Cowboys training camp because yes, it's awesome because all the access we get. But next year, we got fireworks. Because again, I don't unless like just all hell breaks loose, Rob, and Cooper breaks a leg and Dak has a hamstring or whatever the case. That's the only way we're going to get any fireworks from this situation. But next year at training camp, because we don't even really pay attention to Will Grier and Cooper Rush. We're like, oh, okay, hey, that's cool. That was cute. He threw it in the net. He threw it in the trash can. Like
Will
that
Grier
was
did, by the way.
that was Rob's highlight of Will Grier. Will Grier threw a ball in the trash can.
Greatest shot I've ever seen.
Next year, if that happens in this number 15 doing it, we got chitter chatter.
But if Dak arrives, if we're sitting here a year from today, September 1, 24, and he doesn't have a contract, Rome is already burning. It's already on fire.
Facts.
It's just a matter of they can put it out.
Big fact.
Hey, there is huge news coming out of the ACC. They're growing. They got new members. We're going to talk about it in a bit, but I want to tell you about Twin Peaks real quick because it's Friday, and that's a place you need to be. Twin Peaks is always the place to hang out with friends of like mind to watch your favorite game. But on Fridays, we get this triple witching thing of not only do you have bourbon and brews, which was one of my favorite parties to attend every week. That involves all the finest bourbons you love to serve the way that you like them, and brought to you in ladies and the attire that is only appropriate for a Friday afternoon. Lingerie. That's every Friday. You got your lunch specials that are in play, and then you throw in football. Yes, NCAA Week 1 is here, and college football is going to be on those screens. And start your tailgating at Twin Peaks. Start the season with the scenic views and all the hottest non-conference games across the country. Get there early, stay late, because football is on at Twin Peaks. 3 locations waiting on you. Over on the west side, that's right, 151 and 410. That's one of the OGs. Days of All and I-10, my home field. Loopland right there at 410, and San Pedro right there in the Park North location, and the brand new and the beautiful one over on IKEA Lane over on the northeast side. There's one close to you right now. The games are on. You know that everything coming off that bar is 29 degrees, and everything coming out of that kitchen is scratch made, just waiting on you. Enjoy a lunch special. Stay till the games start kicking, but head over to Twin Peaks. The eats are always spectacular. The drinks icy cold, but why do we go? It's so easy. It is those scenic views. Scenic views for sure. The ACC now has a travel budget, the likes of which no conference in the history of mankind has ever seen. There are 3 teams playing on the furthest West Coast, and then you have the Atlantic Coast Conference all playing along the Atlantic Coast. They said hello. The Stanford, SMU, and Cal Berkeley are soon to be members of the ACC.
Yeah, they are. And the whole, the question about, why SMU had to travel all the way over there. And then I get why Stanford and Cal. But if you're in the ACC, and if we're going to stick to the theme that it's all about the money, you just jumped up to close to 60 million per school. I mean, you got to think about some of the schools that's over there that, Virginia, your Virginia Techs, your Dukes. When we're just speaking about football, that we're just kind of like, oh yeah, they're on TV. Okay, cool. Like, clearing 55-60 now because these schools get added, and then you get one of the schools added that doesn't want any money. It's a win. Again, nobody's looking at you in the light that we look at the Big Ten or the SEC when we talk about football, but at the same time, it's like, damn, well, if we ain't gonna be in the same light, at least we're making the same money.
Close.
I know SEC and Big Ten are both at a little over 60, but you get where I'm coming from.
Coming into this morning's ACC conference call, there had been a straw poll taken amongst the members, and it stood at, with 15 teams, at 12 to 3 on Friday for letting them in. They had to have one flip. North Carolina State, and were probably the most easy, according to what I'm seeing, to bring over. But whatever occurred, whether it was SMU and agreeing to take absolutely nothing in TV revenue rights for the next 9 years, or it was Stanford and Cal Berkeley agreeing to take only roughly 30% of the
about 16.5
revenue, only bringing in about 16.5. And trust me, that probably won't even cover travel expenses.
The 16.5 that they're going to get won't cover travel. Damn.
Well, think
what
about
are they taking GG5s.
Well, think about all the different teams and all the different things you've got to do over a period of a year. The hotels, the travel. We're talking football, baseball, volleyball, equipment. Every sport. And you're flying cross country for all but 2 of your conference games. 16.5 might just be enough to cover travel, if that.
And it's such a weird dynamic, especially like we were talking about Stanford and Cal, because again, the weeks when you got back-to-back roadies cross country, you really almost have to consider staying on the East Coast that week and doing class remote, because it just doesn't make sense to, like you talk about, when you talk about the travel, like it really doesn't make sense to go to North Carolina, fly back to Cali, then fly right all back over there to go play Virginia Tech.
That, along with, consider the 2 schools that are joining, and SMU is certainly a fine institution. I don't want
SMU,
to
I think their travel's fine.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're still coming out of Texas, but what I'm talking about is the very idea that 2 of the 5 or 6 true blue ribbon, high-end education schools that play sports in Stanford and Berkeley, and I will begrudgingly throw Notre Dame in there.
Right.
I will throw in. They're the upper echelon. You don't just come to this school to play. You got to get in too.
Right.
That we're going to treat those schools and tell them, if you're going to come play basketball at Stanford, you're going to spend weeks on the road. And while this Blue Ridge and top of the line education is one that most of us only can dream of getting, you're going to have to do most of your classes via Zoom during the season, because you ain't going to be in San Francisco. You're going to be in Raleigh, Durham for a week. You're going to be, you know what I mean?
Right.
You're not going to be a Stanford student during your season, because every conference game is on the road. If you're playing a roadie conference game, you just flew 8 hours. You just had a 5-hour flight.
Yeah, because we talk about football, but there is the women's softball team that's got to deal with this too.
So 16-5 is just enough to kind of get them going.
I don't even know if that covers. I think you're probably in the red.
And then we can no longer, and this is the nail in the coffin about athletics and education combined. If Stanford is willing to jump on this train, Stanford, Berkeley, the bastions of high-end education, are saying, you know what, that'd be damned. We got to be part of the ACC or we got nothing. It's over. They're sacrificing it too. They, of all people, would go, you know what, education is more important. We will just schedule a season of our own and we'll play, and it'll be just part of the college experience, but it won't be the important part. They didn't go that route. We will sacrifice not just kind of millions, 60 million. We'll just give it away. We don't even take it.
Yeah, SMU, the whole, SMU just wants to get invited to the party. That's, like I said, that's like getting invited to the reception, but not the wedding. Okay, hey, you come to the reception, but you can't come to the wedding part.
This tells me that this chapter is done.
What chapter is that?
This began, this coalization, this movement of conferences as a money grab. It began because they saw TV contracts expiring. They saw the NCAA collapsing under its own monolithic red tape weight, and they saw potential to make a whole bunch of money. They being the ADs, the conference presidents, and they chased the money. So to close the chapter on chasing the money, there's a school that sacrificed money, that gave up money to be a part of this. I think we've written the chapter. Now it's time to figure out how the hell we got here and what can we do to fix it. Because what now? Are we going to have teams paying? We'll not only come, you don't have to give us any money. We'll pay you $10 million a year if you will allow us to join the SEC, Big Ten, ACC.
SMU kind of messing things up because, like you said, like USC and UCLA, they left because they were going to go and make more money. Everybody that's gone has gone and made more money. SMU just said, we'll come for free. It's like, when
not for free, they're sacrificing money. They gave up whatever TV money they had in whatever conference they were coming from.
They were out of the AAC.
Yeah,
where's SMU? AAC. Yeah,
it might not be a huge deal, but
it was
a deal.
It was more than zero. Yeah, that they messing up the brand. They messing up what we're trying to get accomplished here.
So, good, bad, indifferent, right or wrong, this chapter of college football movement is done. Whatever happens from here on out, the precedent has been set. There's a team that went in and said, "I will do it for free."
Yeah, those little dogs. Will be either you stay put or you lose money.
So Washington State calls the Big Ten.
You gotta come,
please.
You gotta come for free.
Let's go. Yeah, you can come,
but we ain't giving you no money.
You got to bring your own cup.
Yeah,
you got to bring your own beer.
Yeah,
you can come to my party, but you better show up with a cooler because you can't have any of mine.
To quote the great R.J. Ochoa, it's a bad day to be a Beaver.
It is a bad day to be a Beaver.
Like, what?
Really remarkable news. And who'd have thought we'd get here?
No, I didn't. Again, I just didn't. It doesn't make sense to me to go somewhere and not and lose money. But I guess if you got a bunch, it don't matter. It don't hurt you. I guess. Not every school is SMU though.
The next hour is chock full of goodness. When you can include two good guys like Andrew Monaco and R.J. Ochoa into one beautiful hour of radio, you stay exactly where you are because that's who's coming next. This is R&R, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports bettors, football. Then basketball starts to roll in. You got college football. I know you want to get some action. Rob got some action last night, and by the way, when Rob logged into his account, had $600 waiting on him. Go figure that. So even when you forget about the bet you won, it's going to be sitting there waiting on you. That's right. I'm talking about BetUS.com, celebrating their 30th year sports betting service with a special football season offer, up to 30 risk-free bets. That's right, 30 risk-free bets, and it's called Bet Protect. But there's more. They're going to offer you the industry's biggest 125% sign-up bonus. So meaning, like, if you're ready to go sign up, because, we've been talking about BetUS for quite some time, 125% reasons why you should do it with BetUS. Give them a call at 1-800-MY-BET-US. That's 1-800-692-3887 to learn all about their bonuses and special offers. Don't forget, they also offer a massive 200% crypto sign-up bonus and a 250% casino bonus. All I've been telling you about is bonuses. All I've been telling you about is reasons why BetUS is the place for you this season. Get there now. Do it now. BetUS.com, sportsbook and casino, where the game begins.
Have you or a family member been arrested? The law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, can help regardless of the legal battle you are facing, personal injury or criminal defense. Attorney Jesse Hernandez and his team are ready to fight for you. Calls are answered 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. Call 210-807-8656 or visit JesseHernandezLaw.com. That's 210-807-8656 or JesseHernandezLaw.com. The law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla.
SA Card House is the premier card house in San Antonio. You can check it all out at sacardhouse.com. Full bar, full restaurant attached, Foster's Bar and Grill. One of the best old-fashioned you're going to get. 3-4 top-level chefs. The best bread pudding that you ever have in your life. I've had just about everything on the menu. And also, for the beginners like myself, they got the free roll on Monday nights, only $35. You play pretty good, guess what? You'll last a little bit longer than I do. But for my pros out there, the 6-year anniversary for SA Card House, and going on now through September 30th, they're going to do 16 hot seat drawings daily from 10 a.m. to 1 a.m. and one ticket for every 50 hours of play, or a chance to win a Dodge Ram or a 2023 Dodge Challenger SXT. That's right, over $270,000 in prizes. Check it all out for yourself at sacardhouse.com. That's SA Card House, 281 and Bitters.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Have you gotten your hands on Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at H-E-B yet? Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds offer big, bold flavors like sea salt and cracked black pepper, spicy dill, and Korean barbecue. Bonus, you're going to love the low-carb, high-protein, bacony crunch. Pick up your favorite flavors of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at H-E-B today. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Be big, be bold, be adventurous. Learn more at southernrecipesmallbatch.com.
Tour a Meritage home to start living the dream of owning a new home. Each Meritage home is built with the energy and money-saving features like spray foam insulation and high-performance air filtration. Check out any of our communities across the San Antonio metro area and find the perfect fit to start a life built better. Go to meritagehomes.com/San Antonio to learn more and to schedule a private or virtual appointment today. That's meritagehomes.com/San Antonio. Actual energy savings and performance may vary. Meritage Homes is an equal housing opportunity builder.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2023 Bank of America, N.A.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Did your yard look healthy last summer? If not, consider adding organic compost. This is Bobby Jenkins of ABC Home and Commercial Services. ABC offers a compost program that uses premium soil-enhancing material. It's the organic way of improving the health of your San Antonio yard. Plus, in addition to being more attractive, a healthy yard fends off disease and retains water more efficiently. For an organic boost, call ABC Home and Commercial Services, specialists for your environment.
Just call ABC Home and Commercial Services.
Listen up, sports bettors. It's Rudy J and Rob Thompson of R&R in the morning. We are here to tell you about our favorite sports book and casino, and the only one we endorse, which is BetUS.com.
They're celebrating their 30th year of sports betting services with a special offer of up to 30 risk-free bets. Get bet protected. Get started today by going to BetUS.com or give them a call at 1-800-MY-BET-US. That's 1-800-6923887 to learn more about the bonuses and special offers.
That's BetUS.com, sports book and casino, where the game begins.
You ever wake up in the morning, look in the mirror, and think, who is this old person staring back at me? Where did all these crow's feet and eye bangs and age spots come from? And how do I slow down this aging process? Look.
I tell my husband this all the time, but he doesn't want to use something girly.
Well, I've got a suggestion. Toro Cosmeceuticals. Finally, it's a luxury skincare line for men, with clean, quality products that will help get your skincare routine in check fast.
But he doesn't even know where to start.
Everything you're looking for, from shaving products to the eye cream to get rid of the wrinkles, to moisturizers and even toners. Take control of your aging process and do something about it today. Toro Cosmeceuticals, skincare for all men. Go to toroskincare.com and use code SA20 to get 20% off your first purchase. toroskincare.com.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 210-615-7777 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the Aggies. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The ACC added 3 roommates, inviting Cal, Stanford, and SMU. The money's a little bit light on Cal and Stanford, but none at all for SMU. We say rest in peace, and we pay tribute to Gil Brandt all day today. Cowboys, 20 straight winning seasons, 5 Super Bowl appearances, 2 titles under Brandt. And those Aggies get going tomorrow right here on San Antonio Sports Star starting at 5.
It's 0600. What's the O stand for? Oh, my God, it's early.
Wake me up, wake me up, wake up, wake me up. So wake me up, wake up.
Rob Thompson.
Ginobili the other way in transition.
I want some rest.
Rudy J.
Cowboys win. How else would you settle this game?
Begin each day as if it were on purpose.
I wake up in the morning, I'm just excellent.
R&R in the morning on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, good morning to you.
Good morning, good morning.
This is R&R in the morning, a big Friday edition. He's Rudy, I'm Rob. We're glad you're with us. Easy E driving for the next hour. We're just about chock full of guests this hour, so let's get busy. Andrew Monaco, we are so glad to hear the voice of. You heard him Wednesday night, and you will hear him every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock with the Jimbo Fisher Show as Andrew hosts with the most. And, of course, the voice of gets busy tomorrow, 5 o'clock, as the Aggies welcome in the Lobos. Broadcast gets going at 5. It's presented to you by Ewald Kubota, ABC Home Services, Just Pots, the Angry Elephant, of course, caught right here on San Antonio Sports Star. Andrew Monaco, good friend and all around. Great guy. Welcome on, man. Good to hear from you.
Howdy, my friend. How are you?
What's going on, man? You ready?
I am ready. Are you kidding? This is what we kind of count down for, and that was it just me, or was the summer so hot the days went a little slower before we get to this kickoff?
Maybe you're right, Andrew.
And I don't know of any other school that needs a kickoff like Texas A&M does. The record last year, and I remember, Andrew, it might have been the last time we talked. It might have been after the LSU game. I don't remember what the last time we spoke about the season. And you and I both kind of intimated that, yeah, we're keeping receipts.
Don't start.
No,
don't start.
But that's just the last conversation we had. And then we saw the Petrino entry and all the things that have happened. Do I need to keep my receipts handy, Andrew? I need to get ready to show them?
I would. Why not? Why not? There were a lot of people doing a lot of talking last year. They kind of enjoyed. Look, it was all self-inflicted, Rob. It was self-inflicted. But it's funny, that LSU game, the more and more that I talk with the players, they were the players who stuck around wanted to play another week. They put themselves in a position where that was the last game, but they wanted to play another week. The reason why I'm saying keep the receipts, they do not want to duplicate what happened last season. And how do you not duplicate last season? Don't do the same things you did last spring, last summer, last fall. Camp was completely different this year.
Well, Andrew, the thing about that though, Andrew, is this: it's like a bad round of golf. You're playing awful, you're ready to get out of there. Then on 18, you hit the best shot of the day,
and it brings you right back. I love this game.
That's exactly how that LSU was. Like, man, it's been an awful season. Then you beat LSU, you're like, oh, there is something here. So there is some there, Andrew.
Yeah, there is, Rudy, there is. And that was what was so impressive is that offensive line. Look, they were healthy. That was the bigger thing. And the freshmen, and Jimbo and I talked about this on Wednesday, the freshmen who were baptized by fire were then forged by that same fire by playing. And it started to come together. The game, they understand the realization. Connor Wigman did not get sacked in that game. You had McKinley Jackson back on that defensive line. Now the difference becomes the guys who came back. I truly believe that the guys who have come back are the right guys and the leadership. And there's one seemingly at every position. I think the biggest on offense is Anaya Smith. I think that was a huge, huge addition for the Aggies. He did not go to the pros. And just it's the combination of, yes, as a receiver, sometimes as a running back, definitely as a returner. So you're affecting those parts on the field. But I don't think you can underestimate the leadership, and he's part of the Unity Council and the way he interacts with everybody on that team. On the other side, I'm going to go on the back end, Damani Richardson, and up front on that defensive line, which has a chance to be a real strength. I think McKinley Jackson coming back. He just absolutely impresses me. Does McKinley, that leadership, not just with his D linemen, but he works with absolutely everyone. He'll work technique with offensive linemen as well. You have the right guys coming back, the leadership, obviously the knowledge, and they can play because they're going to be on the field. And I think it's going to do wonders for the young guys. And Jimbo said this on Wednesday, and I love it. You can have leadership all you want. The young guys have to accept that leadership and welcome it. And they have. And that's why I think this group is so tight.
That's Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Texas Aggies. You'll catch him live tomorrow at 5 o'clock, moving all the way through as we got the New Mexico Lobos coming into Kyle Field as the Aggies kick off the 23-24 season. Now, you talked about the leadership that's coming back. One of the things that will be new this year will be the offensive coordinator, Bobby Petrino. It was announced last week that Connor Wigman got the ball. Not a huge surprise, though. From what I've heard, Max, it was a close – I think a lot of people don't realize how close it really was between those two. Tell us why Wegman got the gig and what that means inside of this new Petrino offense.
It's always going to be the decisions that you make. And it's funny when you say that, Rob, you just said it, how close it was. It's not like Max lost the job. That's not it. And Jimbo's always going to have quarterbacks. And there's always going to be, because there's always going to be the competition. And I think there's also this thought like, oh, wow, now Max is he's going to check out now because he didn't get the job. It's not the case. They're actually really close, and they really help one another. And I think that competition of one another, the way camp goes in the beginning is Connor runs with the ones one day, Max runs with the ones the next day, and you do that until the decision's made. And I can tell you, watching camp, I was confident with whomever they put behind center, and sometimes under center, which is going to be fun to see. You're going to see. Connor gets it, the decision-making, obviously, that he has, and the confidence. And Jimbo always says, your team picks your starter. They'll be fine with whomever. But Connor is just a little bit different. And I really enjoy the way he throws. This is always interesting to me because I asked my partner, Dave Elmendorf, and not only played here in baseball here at A&M, but his decade with the Rams as a safety. He talks about Connor's release is so quick, and it blows him away because he says that half second that he gets rid of it quicker is the difference, he said, of me as a safety deflecting that ball and incomplete or a completion. And that, I think it's something special, is the release of Connor Wigman. I also think with this offensive line, I'm not going to lie, and with the injuries last year, he's going to be able to scramble like we've seen a little bit in the past. He'll be able to do that, but I think they're going to be able to protect him. Now, who does he get to throw to? I think some game changers. I think that's what Anias does.
Absolutely.
I think that's what Evan Stewart does. I think that's what Noah Thomas does. That's what's nice. Running back's going to be by committee now, and I'm excited because Amari Daniels is stronger than he's ever been. Le'Veon Moss another year. And Ruben Owens. You know what? You guys know me. It's like I love recruiting because of the excitement. Then it's the old, well, can he play? What's he do on the field? You'd never know that this is his first camp. He looks like a 5-star running back. So that's exciting. For Bobby Petrino, you'll be under center, some 2 back, some 2 tight ends, some motion. It's not going to be completely different because you guys know you got to win up front in the SEC. The lines are always going to be important, but you're going to see some different things. And I do know that this offense is excited to play under Bobby Petrino.
Now, for me, Andrew, if I have a quarterback and I've given him the job, I have to give him the full green light. I don't want him looking over his shoulder. Now, Rob brought to my attention, Jimbo can be a little bit tough on his quarterbacks. Is he going to lengthen the leash on Wegman and not have him looking over his shoulder, not having him scared to pull the trigger that Max is going to take his job soon as he makes a mistake, which to me is a recipe for disaster for any quarterback. This isn't me picking on Jimbo. This is just any QB.
No.
Good question.
No, yeah. Rudy, what's the old saying in football? When you have 2, you have none, right? This is, right. But this isn't that scenario.
Okay.
When you are the quarterback, no, Jimbo does not want you playing looking over your shoulder. This is why he is a Y guy. The Y can be on a completion as well. It doesn't have to be just the incompletion. And the one of the real interesting things about Connor Wigman is he can come off the side. Like starting tomorrow, Jimbo's no longer over his right or left shoulder on that field. He's now on the sideline. So now Connor has to make all the decisions. It's a different thing when you're in camp and you have Jimbo saying, telling a scout guy he's not in the right spot, telling a receiver he didn't run the right route, telling Connor he had a guy open. I get this. But Connor can see that play and then go over to that sideline and tell Jimbo exactly what he saw. And that becomes the key. If Connor's not seeing what he's supposed to be seeing, then that leash gets a lot shorter because he's not managing the game any longer. If he tells Jimbo, hey, this is what I saw, this is why I made the play, and Jimbo goes, yeah, he never wants a quarterback to play looking over his shoulder. It's if you're not making the right decisions, if you're not managing the game, you're not getting the team to the line in time, you're not finding the middle linebacker. If you're not doing what you're supposed to do, then you don't deserve that job. But that's the thing. There's a lot of trust for his quarterbacks. Is he hard on them? Yeah. Like he says, you can't be a knucklehead and touch the ball every single snap. You can have knuckleheads if they're not touching the ball maybe once or twice a game, even though he won't have a knucklehead. But that's why the center and the quarterback are so important. They touch the ball every single play, and that's that decision-making, game management, and having the trust of your teammates is the reason why Connor has the job.
That's Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Aggies. We'll get the party started at 5 o'clock Saturday, go all the way through as New Mexico comes in. We've heard so much about this receiving core with Evan Stewart and finally Amush Muhammad, a healthy one, and then Anias Smith deciding to come back. How much of that group are we going to see Petrino utilize? I mean, is this going to be the downfield attack that so many of us hope to see?
Yeah, you're going to see some of that. And what's really interesting is I had an opportunity earlier in camp. Jimbo always invites me to kickoff camp. So during that weekend, you get a chance to sit in on some of the player meetings that they have. And one of them was with the quarterbacks and Bobby Petrino with all 4 quarterbacks in there at the time. And it was just fascinating. And his big message was, look, when they're putting up plays from the practice the day before, he's getting into their minds. What are you thinking? And he says, look, you have to tell me what you're thinking so I can tailor when you're in there what you're comfortable with and what you should be seeing. And one of the things that he came out and said was, look, if we get a 9-yard run on first down, 2nd and 1, this is a great time to take a shot. That's just football right there, but this is a great time to take a shot. Now you're at 2nd and 1. You always have to know when 0 is on the field,
right?
Because it doesn't have to be just a deep shot for these guys. It could be a slant, but now you got a guy who can win 50-50 balls in Evan Stewart. And you guys know how excited I am about freshmen who become sophomores when there's so much more understanding of how to prepare for Saturdays, not just the Saturdays. And then Moose, who put on a show against LSU. Look, there's a name that I thought had a really good camp, and we'll see. Jade Walker, who comes from Grand Valley State, he's a Cleveland kid, just wowed everybody with camp, with his size and his speed. Micah Tease has speed. Raymond Cottrell has speed. Jordan Anthony, who comes from Kentucky, is a track guy who has some speed. I think Jimbo keeps saying you're only as good as you go too deep. You have to have a first and a second unit. I think that's the difference is they don't have to throw the same 3 guys out there as receivers. So that I think that helps throughout the game that you are fresh or fresher. But you just have guys who can win 50-50, guys with catch radius, the guys who can just make plays. And I love that they've gone up against this secondary, which is pretty stout. The good on good is pretty competitive. And that's what excites me is that there were moments that the defense was winning. There's moments that the offense is winning, but I love the way they make each other better. So I'm really excited about this. It's a much deeper, I think, receiving core than maybe Jimbo's had since he's been here.
As far as I can remember, it's been a bit since we've seen things like, well, Mike Evans would be the last time I remember having this kind of depth and speed at wide receiver. And talk about depth and speed, that is Andrew Monaco. The party starts tomorrow at 5 o'clock. We can't wait to hear the call. The Aggies going to be live here all season long right here on San Antonio Sports Star. And when you hear the Aggies, you know it's going to be Andrew Monaco bringing them to you. Hey, thanks for stopping by, man. We look forward to next week. Have a great call this week, and we'll talk to you next Friday.
Always wonderful talking to you guys. Have a great day.
Andrew Monaco, voice of and San Antonio's own. Hey, coming back, we got a RJ Ochoa sighting. We're going to stop by with Blogging the Boys. Huge news with the ACC expanding, and we're going to look around the rest of the college football landscape. But first, I think those Aggies are favored by 38. Is that a line you want to take? Longhorns favored by 30. That TCU number with Colorado and Deion Sanders, it's moved down. It started at 20, it's about 11. You want to get in on this? Go to betus.com, baby. It's football season, and they're celebrating 30 years of sports betting service, so they got that up to 30 risk-free bets for you. That's right, 30 risk-free bets. It is called Bet Protect. And if you're new to the game, you're late, but it's okay. Better late than never. If you sign up today, you get a 125% sign-up bonus. They got a massive 200% crypto sign-up bonus and a 250% casino bonus. Basically, what I'm telling you is there's nowhere else you need to be getting your action other than BetUS. They've been over here at San Antonio Sports Star going on about 3-4 years now at the very minimum. Check it all out yourself at betus.com. That's the sportsbook and casino where the game begins. Those who stay up all night to watch basketball watched a little bit of a scare today.
What's that?
Team USA almost stubbed their toe against Montenegro.
They always tough against us. They always put together a really tough, hard-nosed team. They play you tough. They're physical. So I'm not shocked to hear that.
85-73, the final score. A little bit. The
12
contest
is almost a stub your toe.
Well, I'm just saying. They're saying the contest was closer than the score indicates. It came on the back of strong play as Anthony Edwards continues to take a grasp on the next superstar in the NBA, Tyrese Halliburton and Austin Reeves, the new rock star that is Austin Reeves. Those guys are rising to the level of their competition, taking down Montenegro 85-73 in the closest of the FIBA basketball games to date. The victory puts Team USA in a strong position to advance to the World Cup quarterfinals next week, but it underscored the challenge coming up against a big Lithuania team. Montenegro was big.
Yeah,
they had to go big last night, and as they did, notice we're not talking about the bigs for for the Team USA.
There
Jaren
are
Jackson.
none.
And what's the big Kessler? Walker Kessler.
Yeah, you're right.
Had to go against those big Euros. That's 85-73. It's still a comfortable walk away.
Yeah, I'll take it. You know what else I'll also take, Rob? I'll take some golf this weekend.
Where?
At Golf Club of Texas.
Let's go there.
You know why I play at Golf Club of Texas? Because after my round, I booked me a good enough time, early enough time at golfclubtexas.com, because that's where you find the best rates. But they got 9+ 65-inch televisions where you can catch your favorite college team. You can catch your favorite NFL team. That's right. Every night up until 10 p.m., they're going to stay open for NFL regular season games. Also, the Rangers and Stros, which that race has gotten very interesting on the AL West. And, of course, fighting Texas A&M Aggies and Longhorn games. Again, 9+ 65-inch televisions inside or outside. Then 10 Cup Bar. Sitting out at that 10 Cup Bar, man, the views are so fantastic. It is wonderful to see. And you go inside and you get those pulled pork nachos that me and my buddies had. That pork was so tender. The barbecue sauce was perfect. The jalapenos were the right temperature. It is just a really, really good sit-down restaurant out there at Golf Club of Texas. And they've worked overnight, round the clock, to make sure that the course is in great shape. So check it all out for yourself at golfclubtexas.com. That's the Golf Club of Texas, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
There's an R.J. Ochoa sighting. He is just around the corner, and I understand he's sitting in the dark. We're going to go deep with the Cowboys and all that transpired this week with Blogging the Boys' own Rock the Mic champ, R.J. Ochoa. He's coming next. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Joe Reinagle here. I want to tell you about something that has completely changed my life. I had vision correction surgery at Parkhurst New Vision. The results are amazing. The readers are a thing of the past. If you're like me and tired of those glasses, call Parkhurst New Vision at 210-585-2020. They offer a variety of services like vision correction surgery. So call Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020, or get them online at sanantoniolasik.com.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
And Twin Peaks is honoring the pursuit of brews and barrel-aged bourbon every Friday at our Bourbon and Brews party. Get to Twin Peaks Fridays from 5 to 7 p.m. to experience a lingerie costume party paired with exceptional bourbons, tastings, and giveaways. Cheers!
Hey, Cowboys fans, want to kick off tailgate season with the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, Rowdy, and a Dallas Cowboys legend? Stop by the H-E-B in McCreeless Market, located at 4100 South New Braunfels Avenue in San Antonio from 9 a.m. to 12 noon on Saturday, September 23rd. You'll even have a chance to enter to win tickets to an upcoming Dallas Cowboys home game, as well as tour the Hall of Fame bus and more. Don't miss out as we roll into town for the Dallas Cowboys tailgate tour presented by H-E-B.
NCE General Contractors, based in San Antonio, is one of the fastest growing nationwide general contractors with a focus on commercial new construction, design build projects, building renovations, tenant finish outs, site upgrades, and building maintenance. NCE President Brian Ehrlich's a former Madison quarterback and proud to support high school football in San Antonio, building relationships first, then buildings that last. Learn more about NCE General Contractors online at ncegc.co. That's ncegc.co.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333. 333.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be signs that your digestive system isn't working at its best? But taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil supports your daily digestive health using a special plant-based fiber called psyllium. Psyllium works by forming a gel in your digestive system to trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Metamucil's gelling action also helps to promote heart health and slows down sugar absorption to promote healthy blood sugar levels. Start feeling lighter and more energetic by taking Metamucil every day.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T.
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text PEC to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text PEC to 321-321. That's PEC to 321-321.
It's Raymond and Austin. We're back on All-Star Sports Radio, celebrating their 30th year. Our sportsbook and casino sponsor, BetUS.com, is offering a 125% sign-up bonus plus up to 30 risk-free bets.
It's called Bet Protect, the perfect offer for crazy plays, like the famous butt fumble. It's the GOAT of embarrassing plays.
Really, remember when you bet me you could do a live show with a GOAT as your co-host, and he face-kicked you?
Thankfully, I didn't take the under on that one.
Anyway, folks, get Bet Protect today. The industry's biggest 125% sign-up bonus plus up to 30 risk-free bets. BetUS.com, where the game begins.
Have you or a family member been arrested? The law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, can help regardless of the legal battle you are facing, personal injury or criminal defense. Attorney Jesse Hernandez and his team are ready to fight for you. Calls are answered 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. Call 210-807-8656 or visit jessehernandezlaw.com. That's 210-807-8656 or jessehernandezlaw.com. The law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla.
It's the RJ Ochoa Show on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. What's going on in Jerry's world? What's the latest from Cowboy Camp? Find out right here, Friday mornings at 7:30 and 9:30 with the manager and editor-in-chief of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Here's Robin Rudy.
It's R&R wrapped around at RJ. This is the R&R intro portion to the RJ Ochoa Show. He's Rudy J. I'm Rob Thompson. We're in maroon. I can't tell what color RJ's in. Why are you in the dark, RJ? Welcome on.
It's great. It's great to be with you guys. Happy Friday. I'm a little under the weather, if that isn't obvious. And so, I'm kind of like a vampire right now. You know what I mean? That's how you want the house. You're not feeling well. Like, everything's just got to kind of match your internal tone. But the good news is I sound sexy. Like Phoebe.
You do. You got a little
with my voice like this. Yeah.
Now the good thing is
pros and cons.
The good thing is I'm almost positive, because I know everyone here is dealing with it too. I think it's more severe allergies. Don't mean you feel better, but it isn't, the flu or anything. But I think it may be severe allergies. I don't know what the hell's floating, but it's bad.
It's tough times, but we got to power through.
Has it spread around the Ochoa household? Are you the only one ill? Have you?
It has.
Yeah.
And they don't tell you that when you're a kid and you're like, I'm sick, and you can do whatever you want. They don't tell you, like, hey, when you're an adult and you're the head of the household and everyone is sick, you have to still
got to do everything.
Responsibilities, and everyone who depends on you needs their stuff. And if you get a new puppy before, she's still gonna piss on the floor. So all that stuff is it's still going on. It's still making my life.
Adulting sucks, my friend. It's also quite beneficial when you see the little one. How's the puppy doing, by the way, before we talk some Trey Lance?
She's actually really great. We originally were going to call her Lady Bear. We've decided to call her Honey. So we've got Bear and Honey. Thinking about renaming our house to the 1,000 Acre Woods. And she's sleeping through the night, which is really the biggest thing that I care about, because her poops are so small. They're like, you can poop 10 times in the house, and it's really not going to affect us that much.
No. Those are just little pebbles. You good.
But those grow.
Exactly.
Fix that early.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right. So this has been an interesting week for our Dallas Cowboys. And I really don't even know where to begin, because I'm not even sure how big a story this is. But the Trey Lance move kind of tilted the scale on a lot of different fronts. The Mike McCarthy situation, where Dak Prescott is as quarterback, and then just the idea of maybe the quarterback of the future already in the building. With underneath this grand umbrella of the story, what do you make of Trey Lance arriving, the draft pick that went out, the McCarthy unaware and the Dak being unaware, and all that kind of goes into this mix?
So first, let me offer, I'm going to trust Rudy. My apologies to Rudy. I did not remember. Maybe the sickness was already infiltrating my mind last Friday when this happened. And I really did not remember Rudy. And also when Rudy texted me about this, my phone was being attacked
Oh, you were
by
getting
everybody in
killed.
the world.
Yeah, I could imagine.
So it was very difficult to compartmentalize everything. I will agree, Rob, this has been a really unique thing. And my initial reaction was one of sensitivity for Dak Prescott, because I was immediately pre-annoyed. I was pre-annoyed at what all of this week's national headlines would be, and I had to say that I forecasted that completely correctly. But the weird thing about this that a lot of people don't want to accept is that this is, so often in the NFL, you can look at a situation and you can look at how timelines are matching up, how teams are doing something,
right?
How all those timelines are all moving in one direction, whether towards a rebuild or this or that or whatever. These timelines match whatsoever. And that's why, the idea that Trey Lance is the quarterback of the future is absurd. Even if you're the biggest Dak Prescott critic in the world, Dak's cap number next year is just south of $60 million. That has to be extended. I mean, there's no way the Cowboys carry that into 2024. At the same time, in the offseason, they're going to have to figure out whether they want to pick up Trey Lance's 50 option or not. And there's no way that they're going to tie themselves up in that much quarterback money, even if Trey Lance shows all the wonder in the world about practices this entire season. And so, in all likelihood, they're heading into next year with Trey Lance in a contract year and Dak Prescott with a sweet extension that ties him to the Cowboys for what will then be, the next 3 to 4 years.
Well, then why do it, RJ? Like, because I mean, I disagree with you. I think there's I don't know how big a percentage, but I do think there's a small percentage of Jerry that feels like this could be the future. But where you break it down makes total sense. So that's why I ask you, then why do it?
I mean, that's a great question. And I guess if you have to answer it, the answer is that this is a league where quarterbacks are the hottest ticket in town. You can never have enough, even when you have, one. And if you trade for Trey Lance and he turns out to be great and you can flip him for something, awesome. If he turns out to be great and you really think he's better than Dak Prescott, okay, that's a difficult problem to solve, but you can do it. I mean, for what it's worth, again, if we're exploring all tentacles of this situation, the Philadelphia Eagles took on the biggest dead cap hit in NFL history from trading Carson Wentz because they felt like they had to move on. They felt like they had an answer worth exploring in Jalen Hurts in that 2021 season. And obviously that worked out great for the Eagles, but they did have to eat that money. So it's not uncommon that to happen. It happened relatively recently, obviously. But if you're playing the game of all likelihood, it's that nothing really materializes from this. But again, I think the why is, why not? Why not take a stab at this? We know Mike McCarthy historically loves to have a quarterback to develop. They got one for a really cheap price who is far better than anybody they would have drafted this year. It's just a weird thing that creates some weird discussion.
This timing was so odd, and I understand that you couldn't fix the timing. The timing was what it was, but the situation just kind of exploded in everybody's face, it felt like.
Yeah, and I will say I don't think there's any. I'm not, as a fan or anything, bothered by Mike McCarthy not being told, by Dak Prescott not being told, because at the end of the day, this decision shouldn't involve them, right? I mean, it's fine if you want to, but this is a roster management decision. This isn't to do with the offensive scheme. This isn't to do with the offensive implementation. Those are the facts of football that Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott have their hands over. I mean, it's no different in my mind than the Cowboys not consulting them on who they should take in first round. There are different responsibilities here. But that being said, vocalizing that you didn't tell them is an interesting choice, to say the least. That's the little bit of pot stirring that it felt like happened here. That's what made all this really annoying. But again, I don't think you have to tell them, because you should be that simpatico. I mean, it's understood that Mike McCarthy likes to have a quarterback to develop. And the Cowboys, for what it's worth, have only drafted 2 quarterbacks in the Dak Prescott era. They took Mike White in the 5th round in 2018 and Ben DiNucci in the 7th round in 2020. And so I know everybody made a big deal about Dak's comments last Saturday night. I think by now it's well understood that he was probably more upset on behalf of Will Grier than anything. But I mean, if on the remote possibility Dak is in his feelings, which I don't think to be the case personally, if he is, dude, chill out, because this idea is what, and this position is what led to you having your job. If the Cowboys hadn't been forward thinking in 2016 and taken a stab with a 4th round pick in the exact same way, I mean, they would have been up a creek with a quarterback that season, and your career would have never unfolded the way that it did. Again, I don't think Dak's upset, but this is the game. I mean, and everybody has to play their way, and the front office just did their part.
Now, do you think when Dak called him to console him after Trey broke his ankle that he had any idea he'd end up on the Cowboys roster?
Probably not. But I mean, that's the way.
That's how Dak is, right? That's who he really is, right? So do you think, so do you think he's going to take on I got to handle my business, but I'll still take you under my wing and teach you all I can? Or will he take the approach of, dude, I'm not going to help you become my replacement?
I think I've said before that if you're a Cowboys fan, and Rudy, I know that's a battle you wrestle with internally.
Yes, big time.
But if you're a Cowboys fan, Dak Prescott is a dream of a player to root for. Like, he is that Disney dude who does the right thing and says the right thing and, you know, looks epic when he's running out of the tunnel. Like, he checks all those boxes. And I do believe him to be that guy who will help Trey Lance in his development in the name of bettering the team. There was a lot of chatter floating around this past week about how Tony Romo did that with Dak Prescott. I'm not here to besmirch the name of Tony Romo that I love very much, but that was not the case.
No, it wasn't.
Romo did not do that.
No.
Mark Sanchez was the only dude helping Dak Prescott out when he was a rookie in 2016. And, you know, I think on a human level, how can you blame Romo? I mean, it was a difficult thing to accept. And so I don't blame anyone for not doing that.
Yeah. On an interesting sidebar, have you noticed on Hard Knocks how far they have gone to point out how giving Aaron Rodgers has been to young Zach? You know, he's taking him under his wing. He's calling touchdown plays for him. He's coaching him up. He's doing all this stuff. I think there's been a concerted effort to kind of rehab Aaron Rodgers' reputation that he garnered with Jordan Love, although I'm not sure that was true back then with Love either. I don't know if he shut him down or didn't mentor him at all, but he's certainly been a mentor to Zach.
I buy that to be legitimate with Rodgers.
Oh, I do.
I think but I think I mentioned Phoebe from Friends and her sexy. She's also the subject of a great plot line in one episode of Friends, where Joey tells her there's no selfless good deed, right? Like, you can't do any good deed without some sense of selfishness, because at the very least you feel good about doing it. So there's selfishness associated with any good deed you want to do. I think there's some
It's a very existentialist view.
Right. And Aaron Rodgers is an existentialist kind of person. And I think, you know, unfortunately for Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Rodgers Corp, what he's doing has been done before, right? Like, the older Hall of Famer who finds a new team, who goes on to have success and even win the Super Bowl with them. Peyton Manning did it. Tom Brady did it. So you can do anything new, Aaron. How can you make this new? Well, you can have the success. You can win the Super Bowl, and you can train the young Padawan, and you can leave the organization. Because what has happened to the Broncos and the Patriots and now the Bucks since, you know, Peyton Manning and Tom Brady walked away? They've been in purgatory. But Aaron Rodgers can be known as the guy who came in and like, think about how lame it was to call it. Well, think about how lame it was to call it Jet Life Stadium. Like, that's the most like low-hanging fruit comment of all time. Like, Aaron Rodgers is like, you know, screaming JES. It's like, dude, quit being such a hardo. We get it. You want people to think you're into this right now. So I'm not saying it's disingenuous, but I am saying that there's a bit of selfishness.
One last question before we move on to the team itself. There was an opportunity cost to going and getting him, a 4th-round pick. That 4th-round pick could have been used if you had a 4th-round pick to move. I mean, legit. And we didn't know we did until he made the deal. Wouldn't a 4th-round pick been more appropriately used on something that could be usable right now, like maybe an offensive lineman?
Maybe. But I mean, the opportunity cost in this case isn't, you know, tremendous. I would offer. And now, for what it's worth, the Cowboys don't have a 6th-round pick next year. They've already traded that as well when they moved out to get Aaron Scott Jr. So they're down those two, but they're slated to get their usual run of compensatory picks, and that's where and how they feel safe. If they know we can burn these, get a couple down the road, we can always move around, we can always dance around, and we could pick that up. We could recoup, whatever the case may be. So yeah, I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's a day 3 pick. I know it sounds cool because it's a 4th-round pick, but it's a day 3 pick. Like, if you're not picking on Thursday or Friday night, nobody really cares at the end of the day.
I saw that the Ravens, it was for other reasons, but I saw the Ravens are holding 4 QBs. And Rob and I had an interesting back and forth, and Rob kind of wanted to hold 4 QBs. Nitpick the 53. Because the thing about you, RJ, you are a fan, but you give it to them straight. What would you nitpick about the final 53?
I think it's worth mentioning, and this still has to do with the Trey Lance trade. The new rule, it's a new old rule, but involving the third quarterback on the team. So if you have a third quarterback on your 53, he can technically be this ghost player that is a part of your 46-man active game day roster without counting against that.
Right.
And he can dress. And if you're in an emergency where your top 2 go down, you can have that dude go in. Ironically, that came as a result of Trey Lance's former team. So, I mean, I would challenge you to find a QB3 that you feel better about than Trey Lance. It would be very difficult. But to Rob's point, I mean, board them. Well, I mean, Rob,
I'm just saying.
Thank you, RJ.
But, he had a great Saturday night, and we'll always remember it. But I mean, let's be cool. It was the final night before everyone went to play. You know what I mean? It was whatever. Anyway.
Wow.
But yeah, so I mean, I'm not opposed to hoarding them like Baltimore's doing. That's a little bit more unique. But as far as critiquing the 53, I wish they'd gone a little bit deeper at offensive line. Yeah, is that born out of fear? Definitely. Yes. Are they weirdly going about linebacker only keeping 3? Yes, but that's a little bit more common, it feels like. Mm-hmm. And the day and age of your kind of classic off-ball linebacker is over. In fact, the Cowboys defense is really positionless. There's no real D tackles, D ends. There are 2 groups that defenders fall in for the Cowboys. There's pass rushers and there's players who drop back. That's it. And Dan Quinn has so many athletes that he can utilize them in a number of different ways, as evidenced by the way he safeties in the box and things like that. I mean, I don't mean to be the Kool-Aid drinking, this really feels like the year Cowboys guy, but I have very few qualms with how they handled it. Would it have been cool if they had carried Isaiah Land and not seen him get poached by the Indianapolis Colts? Yeah, but
I was shocked they let Land walk. I really was. That was like one of the first couple of things I talked about with a couple of buddies of mine.
The reality is, I mean, where's he getting snaps this year? And that sucks. If you're good at this, it should be hard. If you're good at this, you should agonize over that 53rd decision. And so it's quite possible Land was number 54. And sometimes, you're just number 54. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad he has another opportunity, but it would have been great, obviously, had the Cowboys been able to get him back on the practice squad.
I know you talked just a little about the offensive line. And if there is one qualm that I have, it's that we know that they're going to get hurt, that 2 of these guys are going to miss games. It's just the numbers tell us that it's been negative. That. Well, we have to at some point address the fact that your offensive line is going to be a point of pain, and they did not, at least to this point, address a depth issue other than through their draft. And I know they rely and are comfortable with their drafting alignment, but I'm not comfortable here. I do think that this is going to get them.
So I agree with you, and not that this is a defense, but that's sort of a problem across the entire NFL. You know what I mean? Right now, the 3 of us, we're going to buy a house, and we're like, man, this is expensive. It's like, this house is really expensive. It's like, yeah, dude, welcome to the world. Now, if you are trying to give them credit, they did sign Chuma Edoga in free agency. They did draft Awesome Richards with a 4th-round pick. They did sign TJ Bass as an undrafted free agent. All of them made the team. So they did add by multiple avenues this offseason. Again, if you're really trying, last year I thought that they went about things really foolishly. I mean, they went about operating as if Tyron was never going to miss time. I do think that as a result of it, at least, they have to have a contingency plan in place, but it doesn't feel as foolish as it did a year ago. Again, I don't feel great about it, but I would also challenge you to find the team in the NFL that feels wonderful about their 8th or 9th offensive line.
Because of the chemistry Dak and Schultz had, and then now where we see the tight end money is gone, RJ.
Really? Oh, man.
Do you think, maybe Schultz could have stuck around for 10 to 12? I mean, we're at 17 now. I mean, Dak loved him some Schultz. And I'm not saying that Ferg can't be the guy, RJ. I'm just saying, now where we see the numbers, Schultz wasn't too bad at 10 to 12.
Well, you said 10 to 12. He got 9 from the.
Oh, that's right.
So why are you going to pay him more than Houston?
You're right about that.
I mean, that's the reality. Is that it is just people turn this into memes and things like running backs don't matter, whatever. Unless you are Travis Kelce, George Kittle, and that's really it. Like I think we're all fascinated by Kyle Pitts. Darren Waller has had a moment in the sun.
He got paid
Jonnu
too.
Smith had a moment in the sun. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, unless you're one of those dudes, it's just not worth paying that position. And Dak has shown that he can make, I don't want to say anyone who plays it productive, but just about anything close to that. And so you don't have to waste that money. And again, let's not act like Dak and Dalton played a lot together. I mean, Dalton really took off in 2020 when Dak got hurt. I mean, they really kind of had just that 2021 season all the way through together, and that was what led to Dalton getting the tag that he played on last year.
Gotcha.
That's RJ Ochoa of Blogging the Boys. Make sure you're following him and checking Blogging the Boys on the daily. If you call yourself a Cowboys fan, you're probably already there. And Cowboys fans today are going through the loss of one of the architects, Gil Brandt, passing away yesterday. I think it hit a lot of people in a very unique way. He's kind of like grandpa.
I learned it from you, RJ. I just going on during the break, I went onto your Instagram and I learned that from you. What did y'all write about Gil?
I mean, it's, in situations like this, it's tough to really say anything. I mean, because his career kind of spoke for itself.
True.
If anyone is out of an offer under the age of 50, they might not be fully aware of Gil Brandt's contributions to the Cowboys brand. I mean, at the beginning, it was Tex Schramm, it was Tom Landry, and it was Gil Brandt. And they all innovated in their own special ways. Tom Landry, obviously, in the most visible on the field. Tex Schramm, literally in the most visible by way of television marketing and public relations. I mean, it's Tex Schramm's contributions that lead to the Cowboys being on Thanksgiving every year, playing on Thanksgiving. But Gil Brandt innovated in the scouting department. I mean, he was the first dude to be like, let's use computers, right? Like, let's let the computers kind of, process this information. And it led to the discovery of so many Hall of Fame players, Ring of Honor players, important contributors. I mean, he revolutionized the part of the reason the NFL draft is what it is today is because of Gil Brandt. And he helped identify that as this resource that needed to be completely and totally, dried up. You were interested in improving your football team. And so he truly is one of the most important and influential people in NFL history. He's rightfully in the Ring of Honor and the Hall of Fame. And, I think he's an example of, I saw this conversation floating around yesterday, like, I think we all have a bit of an internal piece that he was able to see himself go into the Hall of Fame. And unfortunately, it doesn't happen for everybody. And it brings up the Jimmy Johnson Ring of Honor stuff. Dude, time is so precious. Like there's no reason to not let people like this, enjoy their moment in the sun that they deserved. And hopefully Gil Brandt got to experience this.
This is more of an NFL question, but it involves the Cowboys, RJ. Rob and I discussed a little bit earlier the Forbes valuations. And is it time we get back, especially because of the NFL and how big they are and how much money they make, to where we just go back to no salary cap and then we're not even having to deal with these things? Or is it still a necessary evil in your eyes?
I mean, I'm always pro player. So I would love to see the players get, everything that they possibly could. But I will say there's just zero way that the NFL ever allows that because their cap is a fraction of their overall net earnings in a given year. And the cap is a built-in excuse. Hey, man, we tried. We can't. I mean, we're up against the salary cap. It works some way. Nobody understands. We're over. We're under. But we're going to be over. We had to leave money to sign our rookies or whatever the case may be. So there's no way they get rid of that. It protects them in a lot of different ways. The owners, that is, and this is an owners league, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, it's stupid, the evaluation. I always think about, I don't know if either of you saw that movie Concussion.
Yes.
There was a line in the trailer for that movie that I always think about. And it was when somebody's playing Will Smith's character, like to be careful challenging the NFL. And it was so powerful. They said, you're going up against somebody that owns a day of the week.
Yeah.
And that's who they are.
Strong.
Like they really and totally, absolutely do. It's their world. I mean, it's crazy that they're more valued than some Premier League teams or La Liga teams. Like, they're not a worldwide league, yet they have worldwide fame and fortune.
That's RJ Ochoa of Blogging the Boys. We're about to close out the segment. Before we go, I want to this news crossing board that we do have another shift in the college football land that Stanford and Cal and SMU are joining the ACC.
Oh, really?
It appears that in this phone
Who
meeting
did they
that
get to vote?
there were 4 possible votes no. They had to carry 12 of the 15. They needed to flip one. Evidently, they did.
SMU too.
SMU, Cal, and Berkeley or Stanford are headed to the ACC.
Thoughts and prayers to Oregon State. Tough team. Tough morning to be a Beaver. I mean,
tough morning to be a Beaver. Save that, Edwin.
That's really I don't I don't live and die with some of the college football pageantry and traditions as much as a lot of people. My internal focus just has to exist on Sundays, obviously, throughout the fall. But I'm at the very least interested. I'm not saying I am a fan of this or I'm enjoying this, but we're at this point now where let's see it. I'm ready to say let's see what this looks like. Let's see, Oregon travel to, Happy Valley on a Saturday night. Let's get weird. At this point, I feel for the athletes. I feel for everybody involved. I can't believe, again, college football is this massively popular thing. But from a wealth standpoint, it's worth, again, a fraction of the NFL. But it's so difficult to, explain this to people. I'm sure people hit you up in your daily lives, when y'all are out doing your own personal errands, going where you like to go, Rudy. We all know those places. And people are like, okay, so, what's going on in college football? Why? Why did Oregon State get left out? It's the most difficult concept in the world to explain.
What are you going to do this last week before this, before you lock all the way in for these next 17 weeks? You got any plans with the family? Because these next 17 weeks, how it's going to be.
18 weeks for the regular season.
18, you're right, because of the bye.
More beyond that. At this point, just rest and recuperate and get healthy.
You sound like Mike McCarthy. You sound like Mike McCarthy. What just came home from camp?
Yeah, but it is, it's exciting. And truthfully, for me, I really enjoy the scheduled kind of action that my life becomes. It's so easy to kind of identify this always happens on Mondays, this always happens on Thursdays, whatever. And it's fun having football back. I did not stay up for the Arizona State game last night. If either of you did, kudos, especially given what you do for a living. But it's fun having that, that option back in our lives. So I'm pumped about it.
He's RJ Ochoa. Check his stuff at Blogging the Boys, following him on the X's and the Instas and everything else that you keep up with for the outside world. But all in all, get well, RJ. We can't wait to talk to you next week.
Before next week, y'all have a glass of chocolate milk.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
At what age do you have to stop drinking chocolate milk?
The last glass of chocolate milk that I had.
Yeah. Exactly.
And the funny thing is, I enjoy chocolate milk. I don't dislike it.
You're not lactose?
Oh, I think to some extent I am. But I think that's more of a product of age than anything else.
Yeah.
4 days await me, my friend.
Yeah, man. Enjoy your birthday weekend/week.
It is.
Don't forget to get your steps in.
Oh, don't worry about that. I've got a master of motivation that I live with.
Oh, okay.
Get your lazy ass off the couch, kind of stuff. A&M will not cover.
But what? 38?
Oh, I was wrong. It's 24.
Oh, okay. I was about to say
that's a lot. A&M won't cover. Texas will.
What's their spread?
25, I think.
Yeah, they'll cover that.
Texas will. UTSA wins, but it's going to be a dogfight in Houston. It's going to be close. Frank Harris will be an early Heisman talk about her. He's going to have some numbers.
I agree with that.
And
UTSA wins that game.
Yeah, I think UTSA wins. I don't know. I'm not a picking on the line kind of guy, but I will say it's going to be a dogfight. Holgerson's feeling himself.
Have you seen the Cougars Oilers throwbacks?
Oh my gosh, I can't believe we did.
Yeah.
You know what, Houston? You're not allowed to wear that.
What? That's the Cougars have
save
nothing to
that
do.
for the pro.
Well, the problem with that
I
is
guess it's because the Titans are doing it.
Right. But they're pretty
I thought
sweet.
It's pretty
though.
cool. It is a really cool idea.
I mean, I'm still screaming birds up, but that was pretty cool.
Yeah, the last thing I want is them fired up in those cool uniforms taking us on. But I do think it's going to be a dogfight. It's not going to be easy.
Those uniforms are pretty sweet. I ain't going to lie. That's the first thing Houston's done right in a while.
Because UTSA now has a target.
Yes.
And that's a whole different world. Everybody looked at them different last year as the season began. Now it's a target. Now they're
the hunted.
Yes.
They're the hunted for sure.
And it's a whole different world when you're dealing with that.
Well, I got them winning.
I think we're headed toward a good weekend of football. We will be gone, all of us, on Monday as we celebrate the holiday. And you'll return here on Tuesday minus me and with James Pledger.
Yeah, myself and Pledge Tuesday.
We'll have a great call. We got high school football tonight. Where are you going to be?
Comalander O'Connor versus Judson.
Where you're going to have to go get your rest, drink your fluids, because you got a double duty today. Don't forget the Blitz is just around the corner, and high school football will be going off. Aggie football, don't forget, we get going at 5. The kickoff's at 6. Catch it live right here on San Antonio Sports Star. Everybody celebrate appropriately, and we'll see you next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.